Welcome to Airchecks. You Bet Your Life is an American comedy quiz series that has aired on both radio and television. The original version was hosted by Groucho Marx of the Marx Brothers, with announcer and assistant George Fenman. The show debuted on ABC Radio on October 27, 1947, moved to CBS Radio debuting October 5, 1949, and went to NBC TV and NBC Radio on October 4, 1950. Because of its simple format, it was possible to broadcast the show on both radio and television but not simultaneously. Many of the laughs on the television show were evoked by Groucho's facial reactions and other visual gimmicks. The two versions were slightly different. The last episode in a radio format aired on June 10, 1960. The series continued on television for another year, recording a season on September 22, 1960 with a new title, The Groucho Show. Because Groucho Marx would make many risque comments, many shows were edited down. Here is an unedited episode from December 14, 1955.
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret...
You have kids too, don't you?
Pardon me?
You have children?
Yes, sir.
How many?
3.
Are you married?
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is name. N-A-M-E.
Really?
You bet your life. And now, here he is, the one, the only...
It's nothing to shout about. They're a dime a dozen. Well, here I am again with $2,000 for one of our couples, and if any of them say the secret word, the duck will come down and pay them each $50.50. Our duck gives away more money than any other duck on the air. No other poultry farm can make that statement. The word tonight is name. Hasta la vista. Okay, Rockefeller, take off. George, who's first?
Well, Mrs. Sylvia Thompson and her partner Ben Zeppa are waiting.
Are you wearing a foundation?
No.
You look thinner tonight.
I do?
I guess the way you're standing.
I guess it must be.
I just thought you were wearing a foundation.
Well?
Have you ever worn one?
No, I never have.
Wouldn't hurt you to get one.
I think Mrs. Thompson and Mr. Zeppa are still waiting out there. He's
waiting out where?
Right out here.
What do you have them tied up or something?
No. There they are now.
Oh, well, welcome. Welcome from Moose Lodge, number 9, East Liverpool, Ohio. Say the secret word and you'll divide $101. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Well, let's see. Sylvia Thompson and Ben Zeppa, eh? You make quite a combination there. Sylvia, how tall are you?
I'm 6'1" in my stocking feet and almost 6'4" in my heels.
No. Well, do you know a lot of heels?
No.
And Shorty, what is your height?
4'8".
4'8", huh? Is that the class you're in, 4'8", you said?
No,
4'8"?
That's my height.
Oh, 4'8" what, I mean?
Feet. 4 feet, 8 inches.
Huh? You're almost as tall as she is. You're the tallest 4'8" I've ever seen. You must have 2 feet elevator shoes on there, isn't it? Yeah? Are you married, Sylvia?
Yes, I am.
Well,
I have a little girl.
Takes care of you, old boy. You have a little girl?
Uh-huh. She's 5 months old.
5 months old, huh? How tall is your husband?
He's 6'6" in his stocking feet.
No. Well, do you all walk around your stocking feet?
Sure.
Don't you wear any shoes at all in your house?
No, heavens, no.
Well, together you're 13 feet, huh?
Yeah.
Just about. Well, that's an advantage. At least you're never short at the end of the month like most married couples. How did you meet this dinosaur, Sylvia?
But dinosaur?
Isn't she a singer, Dinosaur? Well, this giant that captivated you.
Well, we were at a tip-topper dance, and...
You were where?
I met him at a tip-topper dance.
Tip-topper dance?
Yeah, we were dancing.
So what do you do? Go walk around and tip your tops?
No, that's a club.
That's a club?
That's a club for tall people.
Oh.
The girls have to be 6 foot in their stocking feet.
Here we go again.
And the boys have to be 6'4" in their stocking feet.
Pretty gamey around there, isn't it?
And they make sure that they're that size too, because in the introductory dinner, well, they measure them, and they have a
They
stick.
measure them? What do they have, an undertaker there? That they lie down and measure?
No, they have a little stick that's called Little Joe, and you stand on it in your stocking feet, and you have a light on. The light goes out if you measure that correct height.
And if you don't, the
Out
he
you
goes
go.
out, huh?
Well, a lot of times they stretch people. They one time they
Was
held
that a seventh inning stretch, or just can they stretch any inning?
One time they put a girl over the balcony and they held her, so she stretched.
They held her in the balcony? I held a girl once in the balcony, but I didn't stretch her. I just held her, that's all, until the usher threw us both out.
And she got in, too.
She got in the balcony?
No, she got in the club.
Oh. Well, is the club in the balcony? Or don't you have a club downstairs?
No. The club is a social club
Well, it's quite
for tall
evident.
people. And we have lots of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff
Stretching
going on
each
in-
other, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, you sound like you and your husband make an ideal couple, Sylvia. And if I ever wind up sitting in back of you in a movie theater, I'm certainly going to ask for my money back. Your name is Ben Gazzara?
Who?
Ben Gazzara? Is that your name?
No, Ben Zeppa.
Ben Zeppo, huh? That's my brother, Zeppo. You're not my brother, are you?
My name's Ben Zeppa.
You say the secret word, Ben Zeppo. So you and your partner each get $50.50.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay,
50
beat it.
cents.
There you are, and you'll get the 50 cents later. We just don't have any change. See, it used to be $100 for the secret word. Now it's 101 on account of the other shows giving away such huge sums. No, this is true. We have increased the amount. Because we don't take a back seat for anybody.
I didn't know what I said.
Gosh.
How old are you, Ben?
13.
18. Huh? You must lead a very clean life because you don't look a day over 30. Were you named after Benjamin Franklin?
No.
Who were you named after? Big
My
Ben,
father.
the alarm clock?
No.
Oh, your father is an alarm clock?
No.
Oh. You know, I never was 18 years old. I was 12 once. In fact, I was 12 for about 8 years. In fact, all the brothers were when we used to travel in Baltimore. If you were 12 or under, then you went on half fare on the railroad train. And for years we traveled this way. I remember once my mother used to travel with us, and we didn't need her, but she thought we did. And the conductor came along and asked for the tickets, and she gave him 4 half-fare tickets. And he says, "Where are the kids?" And she said, "Well, they're on the train someplace." And he looked in the washroom, and Harper was shaving in there. This is true. And the other 2 boys were in the baggage car shooting dice. And I was making a play for a dame across the aisle. The conductor come back and says, "Mrs. Marx, if these kids of yours are under 12, I'm too young to be running this train," and he jumped off at the next station. So, actually, how old are you, Ben?
13.
18. You're sticking to that story, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Were you born in L.A., Ben?
No, I was born in Liberal, Kansas.
In Liberal, Kansas, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, could you tell us something about Liberal?
Well, I don't know very much about Liberal because we moved whenever I was about a month old.
Oh, well, then I don't imagine you know much about it, huh?
Oh, well, I know that my grandfather worked there in he owned a machine shop, and the machine shop burned down, and he didn't have no insurance, so...
Well, it's very silly of him to set fire to this thing if he had no insurance. You tell your grandfather the next time he wants to practice arson to take out the insurance first. Huh? Because that way you can be pauperized in no time. Do you have any brothers and sisters? Now talk slowly so I can get this stogie lit, huh?
I have 3 brothers. And
Talk slower. Huh?
I have 3 brothers and 1...
Okay, speed it up.
I have 3 brothers and 1 sister.
Oh. How do you get along with your brothers and sisters?
Okay, all except for my little brother, 6, Jimmy. I tell him to come in the house, and I go and get him, and he won't come, so I hit him, and he starts crying, and he comes to my mother, and my mother gives me heck, so if I don't get him, I get heck, and if I get him, I get heck.
Well, do you always have to get him? Isn't there any of the other brothers that could get him?
No, I'm the biggest. I'm the only one that can get him.
Oh, well, you're the only one that can handle him, huh? Well, you have to realize Jimmy's just a baby. You should never hit a little kid like that. The thing to do is to disintegrate him with a ray gun. You have a ray gun?
No.
No. A space helmet or anything of that stuff?
No, I'm a little bit big for that.
Oh, well, that's a very snobbish attitude. I'm surprised you do. I have a space helmet home and a ray gun. Of course, I'm in my second childhood. But, do you have any girlfriends, or are you too small for that?
No, I have 1 girlfriend.
You have 1 girlfriend?
Yeah, 1.
Only 1?
1.
Well, how serious is this romance? Do you eventually plan on marriage to this charmer?
I'm going to be a bachelor.
What are you teasing her for? What do you go with her for?
I don't know.
You mean you go with her and you don't know why you're going with her?
Well...
You ever hit her?
Well,
I mean, to make her get in or anything?
No, I don't hit him.
Well, why do you object to matrimony? I mean, have you been observing matrimony?
Well, yeah, but see, if you want to go fishing and that like I do, and I like to go fishing, and you go, and she doesn't want you to go, and you come back with a big fish, and then she won't cook it.
And this is your reason for remaining single? Well, she won't cook the fish? You know, in Eskimo, they have marriages up there, too, and they eat their fish raw. You could try that, you know. Would you get married if she would cook the fish? You wouldn't, huh? Oh, but Hoover's married, and he goes fishing. Well, how do you know she won't let you go fishing? Have you discussed fishing with her?
No, she doesn't like fishing. She doesn't like dogs neither.
Does she like you?
I haven't asked her yet.
Well, Ben, regarding fishing, it's true. As you get older, you realize that once you swallow the bait and they reel you in, females lose all further interest in fishing. And isn't that true?
No.
It's not. Do you go fishing?
Yes, I go with my husband.
You do, huh? In your stocking feet?
Bare feet. And I cook them, too.
Oh, you cook your husband?
No.
He was cooked the minute you nailed him, I suppose. Well, let's get back to the Sylvia Thompson story. That's you. And you say you met your husband at a dance for tall people?
Yes, uh-huh. Let's see.
Well, what happened after that when he proposed? Did he get down on one knee or both knees?
Well, he didn't.
Exactly. I mean, how did he propose? And don't leave out a single significant detail. I want to know every bit of it.
Well, he didn't get down on either knee. We were sitting on a Davenport watching an old-time...
This was in Iowa?
No, this was in Calabasas.
Oh, you said in Davenport.
No, we were sitting on a Davenport.
Oh, well, there is a Davenport in Iowa, you know.
Yeah. But this one was in Calabasas.
Oh.
And, let's see. Oh, we were watching this English movie, and he says...
Watching it where, in the theater?
No, on a Davenport in Calabasas.
You get English movies on your Davenport?
Oh, on a
That's
television.
quite a trick. Most people have to have a TV set. Huh?
And so he said, would you like to get married? And I said, yeah. And
this is while the picture is going on?
Yeah. Uh-huh. And so then he said, would you like to get married? And I said, yeah. And so 4 months later, well, we got married, and here we are.
Well, I guess those old English movies can drive a fella out of his mind. was the picture? Do you remember?
I haven't the slightest idea.
Well, was it a romantic picture that perhaps stimulated this interest?
Well, gee, I don't even remember. I just remember this blimey talk in it.
Limey talk?
Limey talk.
Oh.
They were saying blimey.
Oh, I see. Well, have you ever gone with a short fellow?
Well, I've danced with a short fellow. Yes, several short fellows.
Yeah, and it's no good?
That's what was so exciting at this first Tip Topper dance. Well, it was just the most wonderful feeling. Everyone is as tall or taller than I am.
Well, but isn't there something nice about dancing with a short fellow so you can't see his face?
You have a point there.
Shaved a couple of weeks ago. Ben, I realize the interests of a 12-year-old boy are pretty varied, but what do you like to do best of all?
I like to sing.
You sing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, what do you do? You sing. Are you in the glue club or the glee club at school?
No, I don't like the Glee Club too well because they sing these long-haired deals. I like popular tunes.
Long-haired deals?
Yeah, you know, like, if I were an apple on a tree.
No, I don't. What kind of an apple was it? Do you remember? Well, it must have been a Baldwin if it was long-haired, huh? No, just the reverse, I would think, huh? You know, when I was your age, I sang in a Presbyterian church choir in Madison Avenue, New York. This is true. And I sang in this choir until they found out what was the matter with it. Ben, I'd like to hear you sing. Could you sing something for us? What are your favorites?
Oh, Mambo Italiano, Heart, popular songs like that.
Mambo Italiano and what else?
Heart.
Heart. What do you mean, heart?
Heart.
My heart stood still?
No, just Heart.
Heart. Is that the name of it?
Mm-hmm.
Heart, huh? Well, is it gotta have heart? Is that the name of it?
No, it's just Heart. That's the first words. You gotta have Heart.
And the name of the song is Heart?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what key do you warble in as a rule?
B flat.
Mm-hmm. Well, if it isn't good, you'll B flat at the finish of this. Mr. Meakin, could you knock off a few notes for Ben here? Just fake it. Nobody, including your orchestra, will know the difference. Go ahead, Ben. Tell us.
You gotta have heart. All you really need is heart. When the odds are saying you'll never win, that's when the grin should start. You gotta have hope. Mustn't sit around and mope. Nothing's half as bad as it may appear. Wait till next year and hope. When your luck is bad and zero, get your chin up off the floor. Mister, you can be a hero. You can open any door to it, but to do it, you gotta have heart.
Sing it, Ben.
Miles and miles and miles of heart. Oh, it's fine to be a genius, of course, but get that old horse before the cart. First, you gotta have heart.
Ben, you've got an excellent pair of pipes, and someday if you work hard, you could be another Caruso.
No, an Eddie Fisher.
What? What's that?
Eddie Fisher.
Well, I don't blame you, Sonny, but it's a mistake to want to be another Eddie Fisher.
Yeah, 'cause he's married.
No, it isn't that so much, but there's only one Debbie Reynolds. Well, you're a charming couple, and I hope you both make a lot of money tonight, because right now we're going to play You Bet Your Life. Now, you know how to play this game, Ben?
Mm-hmm.
You know your partners now, and we only want one answer between you.
Mm-hmm.
We start you off with $100, and you miss a question, you lose half your bankroll. Have you met Mr. Fenneman?
No.
Hi, how are you?
Fine.
Good night, man.
This is, Mrs. Then, what is her
Thompson,
name?
isn't it?
Thompson.
Mrs.
Yes.
Zephyr. Yes.
How do you do?
Don't overdo it, George. Now, you selected the musical category, and these are all top tunes of the last 20 years. And remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. Now, what do you want to start with? 10, 20, 50, all the way to 100?
100.
I think you better discuss this with your partner.
We did.
We did.
Oh, you agreed. When did you meet? This morning, you two? Now, this song was written in 1936, but it became very popular in 44. Let's see if you can remember it. Play, Jack.
Let's go back.
You don't know? Guess. I'll give you a hint. It's not My Country 'Tis a Thee.
Oh.
It's Poinciana.
You lost half your 100. You still have $50.
Well, now, you've got quite a ways to go now. Don't go down. What are you going to go for?
90.
9.
90? Originally, this was an old sea shanty, and that became a big hit when a new set of lyrics were added. You tell me the name of it. Okay, Jack. What is it?
Bell-bottom trousers.
Sing it, Ben. Sing it.
Bell-bottom trousers.
That's it. They're a little short in the waist, But that's right. That's for $90, and you now have $140.
Right.
Now what are you going to go for? 80, 50, 30?
80.
$80. This song was written by Ray Noble. Now, you give me the title of it. What is it?
The very thought of you.
The very thought of you was absolutely on the button. Huh?
You now have $220.
Now, it's your last chance to beat the other couples. What are you going to go for? $70? $70. This novelty song was a big hit a few years ago. Let's see if you can identify it. Play, Jack.
How much is that dog in the window?
You ought to be ashamed to take the money, Ben. That's a pretty easy question for $70.
And you wind up with $290.
Well, thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. You want to get in the show? Did you know Poinciana? Come back later and I'll give you 50 cents.
Well, Groucho, just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Mr. Robert McLeod to be on the show tonight, and his partner is Mrs. Pearl Money. Folks, would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $101. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Pearl Money and Robert, what is it?
McLeod.
McLeod, huh? Oh. Mrs. Money, last time I saw you, you were in my wallet. Where are you from?
Sadlersville, Tennessee.
Where?
Sadlersville, Tennessee.
Sadlersville? You're from the South, huh? And you're actually Confederate money, huh?
Then I went to...
I assume you married Pearl, is that right?
Yes,
Then you married Money, eh?
that's true.
You're very shrewd. What's his first name?
Bill Money. Plain Bill.
Is it a $1 or a $2 bill? Huh? I'm sorry, Pearl. I just couldn't help it. That joke was burning a hole in my pocket. Well, no more jokes about money. Enough is enough. Now, Pearl, can you lie down on your back and touch your toes?
I don't believe I could.
Well, try it, huh?
Lay down on my back?
And touch your toes.
You mean you want me to lay down?
Yes, this kind of a show. That's the kind of a show we have. Over here, Pearl. Now, you just lie down right here, huh? Now, you lie down and then get up and touch your toes. Now, touch your toes. It's not easy. Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, huh? You know why I asked you to do that?
See how limber I was?
No, I just wanted to see if we could double our money, that's all. sport, kid. Well, what is your name again, Shorty?
My name is Robert McLeod.
Boy, the natural affinity between the Scots and money is just something that, okay, now beat it. Now, I don't want to see you again tonight. You're pauperizing the DeSoto Company. It's $50 for you and $50 for you because that's the secret word, Ben Piazza. Was that the name? No. Secret word is Pearl Money. No. Name. Now, does everybody call you Shorty or what?
No, I'm affectionately known as Scotty Groucho.
Scotty Groucho?
No, Scotty.
Scotty, well, that's what they call a dog, isn't it?
Same thing.
Yeah. Well, why do they call you Scotty? Are you part Swedish?
No, I'm from a place called Queen's Park, which is in the west side of Glasgow, Scotland.
Oh. Well, if you were 100% proof Scotch, you'd have a government stamp on the top of your head. Unless you were bootlegged. How tall are you, Scotty?
I'm 5 foot, Groucho.
Oh. Where do you work?
I'm at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in the Red Lion Bar.
The Red Lion Bar?
The Red Lion Bar.
What do you do there? Do you serve short beers?
No, I'm a bartender, but I sort of think of myself as a practitioner, you know. Take the beefs about their wives and this and that and the next thing, you know.
I know everything's supposed to be pretty swanky at that hotel, isn't it? Is there anything outstanding about your bar besides the price?
Yes, insofar as we do not allow ladies in during the daytime.
How dreary, eh? Why are women barred from your bar? What's wrong with women? That's a pretty ridiculous question, isn't it?
There's nothing wrong with women.
No, you bet there isn't, Scotty, and don't you ever say there is.
Oh, I agree 100% with that. I'm all for them.
Yeah. Are you for all of them?
I'm not that big, Groucho.
No. Well, how did the ladies react to this snide discrimination?
Well, the ladies sort of reacted to it so violently indeed that we had to shift the opening hour for ladies from 6 o'clock back to 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
So you mean they can go in at 4 o'clock in the afternoon?
They can out from 4 p.m. until 2 a.m.
Until 2 a.m. they can stay there? That's from 4 till 12, Oxen, Svarksika, and 9 and Dreitz. You mean they can stay there 10 hours?
Yes, they can stay there 10 hours.
Well, if they stay there 10 hours, they're no ladies, Scotty. In your opinion, what is the most popular feature of this saloon, Scotty? It must have something.
Yes.
To keep a woman there for 10 hours.
Well, the most popular feature I find in the room is during the daytime when you can see out into the swimming pool and cabana area. We have one window that goes the whole length of the room.
Mm-hmm. This is what they call a picture window.
A picture window, and it's very beautifully done. Mm-hmm. And of course you can see out the window and see the girls lying at the bathing pool and sunning themselves and... Well, use your own imagination after that, you know.
Are you married?
No, thank you, I'm happy.
Well, who's saving the customers while you're over there with your nose pressed against that picture window? What's the favorite drink in your bar? A peeping Tom Collins?
No, Groucho, no. Incidentally, do you know what the Scotch drink?
Whiskey, I imagine, huh?
Oh, yes, but we drink something else with it.
More whiskey, huh?
No, we have a beer chaser. You know, over here is a boilermaker.
Yeah, that's true.
See, the Scotchman always figured that he drank Scotch, he gets drunk. He drank beer by itself, he gets full. So this way he drinks Scotch and beer and gets drunk and full at the same time.
This is providing somebody else is paying for it.
Naturally.
The Scot will pay for the beer, but the other guy pays for the whiskey, is that it?
Most definitely, yes.
Do you know any Scotch songs there, Scotty?
Oh, I know a few.
Can you...
Practically every Scotsman, you know, Roman and the Gloamin', I Love the Lassie, Doch and Doris, Nice to Get Up in the Morning. That was one of Harry Lauder's favourites.
Oh, Nice to Get Up in the Morning?
Yes.
Well, could you sing a few bars of that for the customers?
Certainly.
Well, tell us, huh?
Oh, it's nice to get up in the morning when the sun begins to shine at 4 or 5 or 6 o'clock in the good old summertime.
Good man.
But when the snow was snowing and it's murky overhead, oh, it's nice to get up in the morning, but it's better to lie in your bed.
Hey! Pearl, you're married?
Yeah.
How did you meet your husband, Mr. Money?
Well,
Was it the name that attracted you?
No, I didn't know his name when I first met him, naturally. I went into a...
You know his name now, though, huh?
Oh, yes. I went into a restaurant to get some information, and he was sitting on a stool talking to another gentleman in reference to what he was going to have to learn when he went into the Army. So he asked the...
Was this a barroom?
No, it was just a regular restaurant.
Uh-huh.
He
was going in the Army and he wasn't in a barroom?
No, he probably had been before he got there because he had a
load on?
cut over his eye, and his eye was bleeding. And,
he was bleeding over the eye?
Yes.
And what was he eating while this was going on?
Well, he was more or less talking. I don't think he was doing much eating at that time. And he asked the waitress for a cloth to wipe the blood off his face, and she said, "We don't furnish cloths here to the customers. We only furnish food." So I felt sorry for him.
You could have got a shredded wheat, and wiped that thing away.
I felt sorry for him. And I asked him if he would like me to drive him to a doctor. And he said,
You were
sure.
single at the time, huh?
Yes.
And you were on the prowl then?
Oh, I guess.
Yeah. You. How long after this did you nail him?
Well, the next day.
You were a shy little thing, weren't you? I've heard of speedy marriages, but this must set a record of some kind. Weren't you a little worried about the consequences of this hasty decision?
I sure was. I didn't have time to tell him I'd had 3 children by a former marriage.
It was a bad week for this fellow, wasn't it? First he gets a crack on the skull, then he gets married, and then the next day he finds out he's the father of 3 children, all in 2 days. That's better than any of the boys on our show can do. Even Clockworthy can't equal that. What kind of work does your husband do now?
We do tree service work.
Tree service?
Yes.
What kind of a business is that?
Well, we top and trim and remove trees. And by the way, our location is 332 Southwestern. Money Tree Service.
Whoa. Well, I'll remember that in case I want anything removed in my house. Like some relatives, huh? Well, what do you do while your husband is up in the tree? Are you down below sawing it down?
No, I'm generally up there with him most of the time. Sometimes
you don't trust him, huh?
Not all the time.
He can't get a moment to himself, this fellow. Well, are you pulling my leg? I mean my limb? Do you really climb trees?
I sure do.
Wish we had. Is there a tree in the audience? Well, money may not grow on trees, but apparently there's plenty of money up there climbing around. Huh?
Yes, it is.
Well, I'd like to go on.
You work real hard.
Yes. And are you very happy with this present husband? Huh?
Oh, yes, very happy.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because as a rule, a marriage that is affected so quickly can frequently turn out disastrously.
Sure.
I'm very happy for your sake that this one turned out so well. And do the children love their newfound father?
Oh, yes, very much so.
How old are the kids?
Well, the oldest one is 23, and the next one is 22, and the next one's 21, the next one's 5, and the next one's 4.
Oh, there have been some new bushes since the... Well, keep it up. Keep it up, Pearl, because if there's one thing we need out here is more population. Well, I'd like to go on with this chat, but the time has come to play You Bet Your Life. You both know how to play this game?
Yes, sir.
Well, anyway, we want one answer between you. Remember your partners. Now, you've selected a thumbnail movie quiz. I'll give you a brief synopsis of some of the most famous movies of all time, and you give me the title of the movie. Some of these go quite a way back, and remember, the more the questions were, the tougher they are. Am. I had my tongue around my eye tooth, and I couldn't see what I was saying. It's an old Ed Wynn joke. Now, what do you want to start with? 10, 20, 50, 100?
We'll try 50, Groucho.
$50. Well, that's a good Scottish right. My brothers and I made a picture in which practically the whole cast was crowded into a small stateroom in one scene. What was the name of this movie?
Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
That would have been a much better title, but it happened to be A Night at the Opera. And now what are you going to try?
You have $50 left from the 100.
So we'll shoot for the other 50, huh, Pedro?
Well, you can go for 40 or 60. 50 has been taken now.
50's been taken. We'll take 60.
60. In 1934, both Claudette Colbert and Clark Gable won Academy Awards for their parts in a Frank Capra comedy. You tell me the name of it.
It happened one night.
What was that?
It happened one night.
That's right. It happened one night.
You now have $110.
Oh, what are you going to try? 70? 80?
We'll try for 100, Groucho.
100. In 1928, Buddy Rogers, Clara Bow, and Richard Arlen starred in the first big picture about World War I flyers. What was the name of this picture?
We Fly Alone?
Hell's Angels.
No, that's very nice, but you're both wrong. Huh? It was Wings.
You now have $55.
All right, you still got a chance. Now, what are you going to go for? Little ones are easy. Which one? 80? 40?
We'll go for 80, Groucho.
80. Now, one answer this time. I don't want two answers like you did last time. In 1942, Greer Garson, that's a countrywoman of yours, and Walter Pidgeon starred in a movie about an English family during World War II. What was the name of this picture?
The name of it was Mrs. Miniver.
That's right. Mrs. Miniver's right.
And you wind up with $135.
Now, before you leave, I presume you're a British subject since you work in the Red Line Inn.
No, sir. I'm an American citizen.
Oh, but you still have a kind of a proprietary interest in
Oh, very
what
definitely.
goes on in the British Isles. Do you think that Captain Townsend should marry Princess Margaret?
I very definitely do.
Even if it disrupts the whole British Empire?
That's going to disrupt nothing. Just let them get married and be happy, that's all.
Well, that's a simple solution. And in the morning, I am going to send her a wire and tell her that Scotty at the Red Line Inn at the Hilton Hotel advises her to get married immediately. Thanks to both of you, and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. From Moose Jaw.
Groucho, we have a couple of special guests for you now. Mrs. Vinnie Dick, who is a housewife, and her partner, the world's top-ranking professional tennis player, Pancho Gonzalez. So, folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealer. Say the secret word and divide $101. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Pancho, give me 5.
All right.
Glad to see you.
Nice to see you.
And you're Mrs. Vinnie Dick, eh? Vinnie, shake hands with the world's best tennis player.
Hello, Vinny.
Hello, Pancho.
He's the only man in the world who has a better racket than I have. And, Pancho, I'll get around to you in a minute, but first I'd like to get better acquainted with Minnie. Oh, Vinnie. Are you a native Californian, Vinnie?
No, I was born in St. James, Missouri.
St. James Infirmary?
Center of the Ozarks.
Center of the Ozarks, huh? And do you live in Missouri now?
No, I'm a resident of Liberal, Kansas now.
Liberal, Kansas?
Liberal.
Well, that's an extraordinary coincidence. We had someone out here a little while ago from Liberal, Kansas. Is that little boy around here? Where is he? Say, Ben, come out here. I want you to meet one of your countrywomen. This is Ben Pizzazza. Pizzuzza. They're both from Liberal, Kansas. Isn't that you?
Quite a point.
You want to tell us something about the old town? Huh?
My uncle owned a machine shop.
What was
Montgomery.
His name was Montgomery, Robert Montgomery, and he burned this machine shop to the ground and neglected to have it insured, and so he was pauperized, and that's why Ben is now singing on television. Well, Ben, nice to see you, and thanks for coming out. Well, now then, isn't that an extraordinary coincidence? How big is this town?
It's a city of about 10,000.
Imagine, 2 people. We've never had that in the 9 years I'm doing this show. 2 people from the same town. I mean, you could have 2 people from Chicago or Philadelphia or something, but from liberal Kansas. Well, wonders will never cease. Gosh, all hemlock. Gee whiz. Gosh. Well, what kind of a place is liberal, and just how liberal is it, Vinny?
Well, it's a city situated in the southwestern part of Kansas, an extreme southwestern part, on the at the junction of highways US 54 and 83. It is the capital city of a 5-state shopping area, and it is known chiefly for agriculture. However, there is a
I imagine Benson must be very popular around there, huh? Well, Pancho, I'll get back to you, Vinny, but let's find out something about you. I know a lot about you, but let us find out some more. Where are you from, Pancho?
I'm right here from Los Angeles.
Well, you're a very good advertisement for Los Angeles. Wrap that ball around. Were you always interested in tennis, or did you have a go at other sports?
No, I played other sports. I started out in grammar school, and I played marbles. I was marble champ in 1935.
Really?
And
that was the year I lost my marbles. Huh?
I took up decathlon sports in the park, and I won.
You took up Catholic sports, did you say?
No, decathlon.
Oh, decathlon. I don't hear well. My glasses need fixing.
And I also played football, baseball, and basketball in high school.
I see. Pretty rough sport, isn't it, football, huh?
Well, yeah, I got knocked about a little bit.
I guess psychologically it isn't as tough as being out alone in a tennis court, though, huh?
Well, I had my nose broken on a tennis court.
You really did?
That's right. My very best friend did it to me, and then he looked at me and he says, "I'm sorry."
And didn't he even pay the doctor bill?
Someone did. I didn't.
What were you doing? Were you standing at the net and he tossed an overhand smash at you?
No, he was my partner.
Oh, that's a fine partner to have, huh? Well, was he betting on the other team? Why did he?
No, we had a ball right in between us, and I was looking up at the ball and hollering mine, and he caught me with his backswing right across the nose.
Who was this scoundrel?
Hugh Stewart.
Oh, that big lumbering ox. I know him very well. Are you married, Pancho, or do you just play singles?
No, I'm married.
Well, you can't win every time. You think marriage has helped your tennis?
Well, yes, I think it has.
I guess there's nothing like marriage to perfect a man's defense against a strong backhand. An overhead smash, huh?
Well, it helped me in that I was stay in at nights back east during the touring instead of going out with the fellas playing poker.
Yeah, shooting crap with Bobby Riggs, huh?
I was after.
You were after him, huh?
That's right.
A lot of people were after Bobby Riggs, too. Very few of them caught him, though. Huh?
That's true.
You're a young, good-looking champ, Pancho. I'm sure you must be besieged by pretty girls. How does your wife feel about you playing a harmless game like tennis with beautiful babes in shorts? You know, mixed doubles, huh?
No, I don't play mixed doubles.
You don't play mixed doubles?
No.
Not even on the court?
No, they're bad for my tennis. My wife knows that.
Well, what have you got against girls?
Nothing, just they're bad for my tennis.
Well, you stick to your racket, and I'll stick to mine. How long have you been playing pro tennis?
I turned professional in October 1949.
I remember the first time you came out in the Southwest tournament there. And you knocked off three of the ranking players in rapid succession.
Yes.
It was Dromby, wasn't it?
Drobny.
And
Parker and Falkenberg.
Oh, yes.
Those are the days.
These are the days, Pancho. What kind of a rating have you had as a professional?
Well, in my...
This is for the audience. I know what kind of ratings you had.
I had the rating of number 2 in 1950, 51, and 52. 53, 54, and 55 I've had the rating of 1.
Mm-hmm. Is there as much money in professional tennis as there is in amateur tennis?
Well, I think there's a little more, but by the time income tax gets to us, they beat us.
You might just as well be playing Seabright in Forest Hills. Huh?
That's right, yes.
Well, that's a lot of money, $25,000-$30,000 a year. Why are you the best tennis player in the world? I know Kramer's getting fat, but...
Well, he's getting fat in more ways than one.
Yeah. You don't mean up here, huh?
Oh, no, that stays the same. I think I've just been fortunate to play well during the championships, and I've won them.
Well, you're just wonderful to watch out there. I classify you with the immortals.
Thank you.
Tildens and Donald Budges and Kramer when he was thin. Who did you ever see Tilden play? No, I guess you were a kid then.
No, I played a tour with him when he
huh?
was 58 years old.
He was still pretty good, wasn't he? Yeah?
Great athlete, and he loved tennis more than anyone I think I've ever seen.
You do anything else besides playing tennis, Pancho?
Yes, I go into endorsements. I have a Pancho Gonzalez tennis short, the shirt, and my racket, which I try to promote when I'm here at home.
Did you ever play my son, Arthur?
I don't think we ever played tennis against each other. Matter of fact, I heard he was a very good player.
Well, he played a couple of years at Forest Hills.
Yeah.
Got to about the third or fourth round. Are you interested in tennis, Benny?
No, I'm just interested in pancake racing.
In Pancho racing? You want to race him?
Pancake
racing?
Yeah.
I've never seen a pancake race. I've seen a waffle iron.
Well, this is a little different.
What is a pancake race? Is that a new race that we're getting from the moon or something?
No.
New race of people? Little
you
people?
You haven't heard of it?
No, I am not familiar with it. Are you familiar with a pancake race?
No, I'm afraid not.
No. What is a pancake race?
Well, perhaps...
You ought to be in the movies. You're a good-looking guy, Pancho.
Yeah, but this racket is a better racket.
Oh, can't you do both? Van Hogan was in the movies and playing golf.
Well, yes. Possibly. I've never thought of it.
Nobody ever made an offer to you?
On my life story, yes. They want to make a movie of my life story.
I'll get around to it. But do it now. Don't wait till you get ugly. Like next week. What is a pancake race, Benny?
Pancake race is where the women race down the street 415 yards carrying a skillet with a pancake, flipping it 3 times.
Flipping it in the air?
Yeah.
How high do they flip it?
Well, it all depends, just so long as they get it turned over.
Why don't they run with stakes? I saw a stake race at Santa Anita last year.
Pancakes are easier to flip.
I sat in the grandstand licking my chaps when my horse came in. Well, this is a whole new world that you're opening up here, Benny. Is this craze for pancake racing strictly a liberal affair? Or
no,
is
it's
this
international.
Craze sweeping the country?
It's international.
Imagine sweeping the country with a pancake. It's an international race?
Yes.
What other countries compete against this?
Only England.
Oh.
And Liberal Kansas.
What?
Liberal Kansas and only England.
This small town of 10,000 people competes against the British Empire?
Only.
And Schwepperwessen? You have a race between Kansas and England?
Yes.
Don't the pancakes get soggy when you're crossing the Atlantic? You'll have to explain this if it's possible.
Well, the Liberal Kansas has a race course. It is a 415-yard S-shaped course racing down the main street of town.
This
and
town
only
has a main
a similar course.
This town has a main street?
Oh, yes.
That's all.
Even little towns have a
I
main
didn't
street.
know. I've never been.
But in only England, they have a similar race course.
Mm.
And
they have
women
a town called Liberal, too, in England?
Only.
Only Liberal?
Only England and Liberal Kansas.
Only England and Liberal race
Only
in
is
this.
a little village in...
only is a village over there.
In England.
Oh, I see.
The times are compared by transatlantic telephone call after the race has been run.
Well, who's ahead now, England or Liberal?
It's even now, 3 and 3.
I looked in the Wall Street Journal. It wasn't in there this morning.
It started in...
it just said I was wiped out in 3 of my stocks, but there wasn't any mention of your pancakes at all.
Well, it's an old sport in England.
Well,
in fact,
I'm an old sport here, but that
it's over 500 years old in England.
Well, I'm not quite that old, but I'm moving along rapidly towards it. How have you made out in this international flapjack race?
I have won the American in 3 times, and I have won the international twice.
Well, I want to congratulate you. I'm surrounded by world's champions tonight. Huh? Pancho, how do you feel standing next to a world's champion?
Feel pretty good.
You've got more syrup than her pancakes. How fast was your time in these races, Benny?
I hold the world's record of 1 minute 5 1/10 seconds.
That's fantastic. You must be grease lightning out there in the track. Have you ever thought of entering the Olympics?
I've seriously considered it. However, I am considered pro because I have accepted $350 prize money for running the race.
I'm sorry to hear that. Without you on our team, the U.S. is certainly going to get flattened in the pancake race. How about training, Benny? Do you have to prepare for this?
I go into it very seriously.
Very syruply, isn't it?
About 2 months before the race, I eliminate sweets and fried foods from my diet and increase green vegetables and fresh meats in my diet. And then about a month before the race, I start in with my training programs, such as doing a lot of walking as much as 3 miles a day.
You walk 3 miles a day with a frying pan in your hand?
Sometimes. You have to get the feel of the skillet in your hand because that is a handicap.
Yeah. That's true.
I also have, since I do work through the day, I have to go out on these lonely country roads at night and do my training with my husband behind me in the car, clocking me with a stopwatch.
Now, what is your fighting weight for the championship?
92 pounds.
92 pounds.
I gained 2 pounds once, and my husband told me I had to lose it, that it was too much.
Well, where did you lose it, in Liberal? Or, you weigh 92 pounds. A stack of flapjacks weighs more than that. Pancho, what kind of training do you do when you defend your title?
I don't have any special training.
Your wife doesn't go out and run you in back of a car?
No, she might send the skillet out after me.
Oh. Well, there you are. That's the difference between an ordinary world's tennis champ and an international pancake champion. Pancho, if you want to beat Benny, you'd better start chasing automobiles.
Well, she's got me tired already.
Was it much of a trick to run and flip flapjacks at the same time?
Yes. In fact, I almost lost a race once by dropping my pancake right at the finish line.
You dropped your pancake right at the finish line?
Yes.
Well, what happened? Did your elastic break?
No, I guess I was just excited. And then
well, did you pick it up again? I mean, was there a mixed crowd there?
You can pick up the skillet.
But you can't pick up your pancake?
Huh? You can pick up the pancake, flip it again, and then cross the finish line. However,
I didn't know you could flip those things. I thought you could just pick them up, that's all.
Oh, you flip them.
Uh-huh. Well, aren't they full of grease by this time? They don't care what condition this pancake is in when the race is over.
No, so long as you come in with one piece of it.
Uh-huh.
But you do have to come in.
How small a piece would you say you have to come in?
Well, there has been a lot of controversy.
What's the smallest piece you ever came in with? Do you know?
Well, even though I've dropped mine, I've always come in with a full pancake.
You dropped your pancake, but you still come in with it, huh?
Yeah.
But where do you drop your pancake? At Sandy Hook, like the ships coming in from Europe? When is this contest held?
It's always on Shrove Tuesday. It's an annual event.
Shrove Tuesday?
Shrove Tuesday. That's the day before the start of Lent. Incidentally, it will be next February the 14th.
Well, isn't it pretty cold to be dropping your pancake around in February?
Well, most of the time the weather is very pleasant. However, 2 years ago, I did get a mild case of frostbite.
Well, I should think so. You have a good chance of freezing your waffle running over. Well, it's certainly been educational talking to you two, and I'd like to continue, but the time has come to play You Bet Your Pancake. You both understand the rules, I presume, huh? If you win anything, of course, we pay you off in pancakes. Now, you selected small towns and cities of the United States. You've done a lot of touring, Pancho. You ought to be pretty good at this.
You'd think I would be. I hope so.
Well, I hope so. Well, don't forget, she's an expert. Now, I'll list 6 cities and towns all in the same state, and you tell me in what state they're located. Remember, the more the questions worth, the harder it is. Now, you can start with 10, 20, all the way to 100. What do you want to start with?
90.
One answer between you.
100 on the first
100? You're in the finals already, huh?
Well, that's my boss over here.
All right, what state are these towns and cities in? Green Cove Springs, Dade City, D-A-D-E, Fort Myers, St. Augustine, Live Oak, and D-Land.
That sounds like Florida.
We think
Florida?
Yeah, that's right.
Florida.
Now, I heard somebody say that in the audience, and we're going to let them have this, but from now on, it makes it very difficult for them because we have to throw it out if we hear rooting from the audience. So if you'd all keep your trap shut until this is over. Yes, they knew it. Florida is right.
Thank you. You now have $200.
That's great.
Well, you're not home yet, aren't you?
No, it just reminded me of the professional tournament they hold in St. Augustine.
Oh. Well, now what are you going to go for?
Should we go for 90?
I guess.
90.
90? Here are the towns and cities. Vicksburg, Rolling Fork, Yazoo City, Natchez, Belzoni, and Wiggins. What state are they in? Vicksburg, Rolling Fork, Yazoo City, Natchez, Belzoni, and Wiggins.
Massachusetts?
No, you're quite a ways off. It's Mississippi.
All right.
Well, you're back where you started. You still have $100.
You know, if Mississippi asked Missouri for her New Jersey, what would Delaware? Idaho, Alaska. That's what we used to say in school. And until I go back to school, I'm never going to repeat that again. What are you going to go for, Panch?
The 80 now, I guess.
Panch. What state are all these towns and cities in? Crown Point, Red Key, Rising Sun, Tell City, Kokomo, and Angola.
Indiana.
Back home again in Indiana is right.
And you now have $180.
Now you can go all the way from 10 to 70. Last chance to beat the other couples. 70? Here are the towns and cities. Bonners Ferry, Soda Springs, Moscow, Boise, Blackfoot, and Jerome. What is the state? Idaho is right.
And you wind up with $250.
Well, thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers from Moose Jaw, Kansas.
And that means that Mrs. Thompson and Ben Zeppa with $290 in just 1 minute.
Zara, isn't it?
No, Zeppa.
Oh.
In just 1 minute, get the chance at the $2,000 question. Here's the winning couple, Groucho, Mrs. Thompson and Ben Zeppa, all set for the $2,000 question.
Wait a minute. Hold it. Wait a minute. George, you want to bring the platform? Yeah, bring in the platform, please.
Bring in a platform?
Start over again.
We have a lot of production on our show, and this is a sort of a spectacular. We have this platform here.
And here's the winning couple, Groucho, Mrs. Thompson and Ben Zeppa, all set for the $2,000 question.
Here. Well, here's your chance to get rid of that girl, Ben, and because you may have money after this. You also may not. All right, here we go for $2,000. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you. Think carefully, and please no help from the audience. Here it is. Captain James Cook discovered the Hawaiian Islands in 1778. For $2,000, what name did Captain Cook give to the Hawaiian Islands? What's the answer you two have decided upon?
I don't know if this is right.
What?
Bahamas?
No, you're wrong. It's the Sandwich Islands.
Ooh.
So that means the big question next week will be worth $2,500. Well, they lost the big money. How much did they win the quiz, George?
$290 in the quiz.
And didn't they win the secret word?
Yes, the
Well, how much is that total now?
$390.
No, what about the $1, George?
Oh, I've forgotten about that. $391.
That's better, George. Well, congratulations, and thanks to both of you and to all of our contestants on the show tonight.
Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this same time for the Groucho Marx Show, when the big question will be worth $2,500. Don't miss the Chrysler Corporation's big TV show on another network. And don't forget Groucho's television show, brought to you by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America, who invite you to visit your neighborhood showroom tomorrow to see and drive the delightful, lovely DeSoto for 1956.
And when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you. Good night, folks, and remember, it's delightful, it's the lovely, it's DeSoto.
Folks, here's a reminder from the National Safety Council. Whether you're walking or driving, darkness is a signal to proceed with care and be more alert. You Bet Your Life, transcribed from Hollywood, is produced by John Goodell. Directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jack Meakin. This is George Fenneman signing off for the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. You Bet Your Life is heard by our armed forces throughout the world.
Thank you all for showing up, and we hope you all had a good time. Those who didn't, if you'll send me $12 in cash just to defray the cost of mailing, we'll send you each a lifetime supply of Maidenform bras. Good night.
Wait just a moment, folks. We'll take your picture, and you can then wave back at yourselves when you... Shouldn't have said that, because I have a great prejudice against wavers. If you wouldn't mind. Fine, with some applause and a smile. What do we do? Oh, well, you see... This is why they pay extra so much money in the movie business. Light always goes on. Now, if you can recall about an hour ago and smile and applaud as if you had... Are we? Thank you. Like you had just met Mr. Marx.
That was an unedited episode of You Bet Your Life with Groucho Marx from December 14, 1955. Martin and Lewis were an American comedy duo, comprising singer Dean Martin, as the straight man, and comedian Jerry Lewis, as his stooge. The pair worked together in nightclubs, on radio and television, and film from 1946 until 1956. Here is Martin and Lewis on NBC, on April 3, 1949 as Lucille Ball as the guest host.
It's the new, the great, the different, the Martin and Lewis Show. The National Broadcasting Company brings you the new Martin and Lewis Show. Our guest tonight, Lucille Ball, and featuring Eileen Woods, Flo McMichael, Dick Stabile and his orchestra, and starring Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis are two young men who, overnight, have become the nation's comedy hit. But let's get on with the show. We take you now to the apartment of Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, where we find the boys getting ready, somewhat nervously, to go to the NBC studios for their first radio show.
There's a tree in the meadow with a stream drifting by. Answer the phone, Jerry, I'm tying my tie.
Okay, Dean, there's a tree in the meadow with a stream drifting by. I could never be a big singer like Crosby.
Well, why not?
I sound too much like Dean.
Oh, it must be NBC again. What cowards we are. Why are we afraid to do our own radio show? After all, how big an egg can we lay?
How big? Well, if we took a large hen and got it to hold back for 2 years...
All right, Jerry, all right. Okay. We've been acting like two frightened mice all day. We've got an ironclad contract to do the show. We got to talk to NBC sometime.
You're right. I'm not a frightened mouse. Answer the phone.
Oh, come on, Jerry, you answer it.
Dean Martin, I will tell you why I will not answer the phone. Indubitably, that is a call from NBC. And it is indubitably they want to know where the HECK we are because they are spending thousands and thousands of dollars and money to build a sensational comedy and musical extravaganza around us. And if they think we are that important, why don't they call us?
Jerry, they are calling us. Who else could it be besides NBC?
Well, it could be a wrong number, a quiz show. Hey, a quiz show. They give you money just for answering a few questions. Give me that phone. Hello, 1492 Marie Antoinette and sulfuric acid. Ship the money.
Now, come on, Jerry. We got to get down to NBC right away. Let's go.
Dean.
Yeah?
I'm scared.
Look, we've done all right so far. We shouldn't be afraid. We did all right in nightclubs, didn't we?
Yeah, but those people paid $10 cover charge, so they had to like us. But at a radio show, the audience gets in free, and at those prices, they can afford to hate us. Because there's nothing cheaper than something that doesn't cost very much, I always say.
Indubitably, but come on, Jerry. Get dressed.
Okay, I shall wear my new sport coat, which the man said was good for town or country and just perfect for the beach.
What is it, gabardine?
No, wet sand.
Jerry, you're just stalling.
That's impossible. Stalin's a big man in Russia, and Russia's a big country full of places like Vladivostok. And... They laughed. And Dnieper. And he's a big, important man. And if he thinks I'm impersonating him, he'll get mad and come and get me and send me to Siberia. And it's full of ice and snow and sleet. And Dean...
Yeah?
I'm cold.
Jerry, you and I are going to NBC and do that program. What are you scared of? When we played the Copacabana in New York, they laughed at us. When we played the Shapery in Chicago, they laughed at us. And when we came out here and asked for a radio job...
They laughed at us.
They didn't laugh at us. They signed us up. They want us. Jerry, we got to do this radio show. Who knows? This could make us famous.
Yeah, famous.
We could even become important actors.
Yeah, important actors.
Our names in lights, celebrities, stars in pictures.
Yeah, names in lights, celebrities, stars in pictures. I can see it all. Big hits in nightclubs. We're famous. Everybody wants us. Hal Wallace signed us for a Paramount picture. NBC signed us for a radio show. We flop. Nobody wants us. Hal Wallace won't speak to us. Paramount hates us. We spend our savings. We can't get work. We're tramping the streets, starving. We stop and press our noses against a bakery window. Dean.
What?
I'm hungry.
Tell me, Jerry, did Whittaker Chambers ever hide any papers in your head?
Well, it ain't my fault. I don't have my head with me all the time, you know. Let's answer it. Hello?
Hello.
Who is this speaking, please?
Jerry. Jerry, you have to take the phone off of the hook.
Yeah, when did they do that? Okay. Hello?
Why aren't you guys down here at NBC? They're going nuts down here.
Oh, it's our agent.
Well, it's not your maiden aunt in Minneapolis. Everyone's waiting to do the program. You guys are messing up the whole thing.
Now, listen, I can explain everything.
Good. Start with you. Now, listen, boys, don't ruin everything. This radio show means a lot to us. Your careers, my commission.
You think I don't care about the show? I do. After all, I gotta live, too.
I can think of a loophole in that argument.
Ooh, how you aggravate me. Okay, Abby, we'll be right down there.
We can't leave yet, Jerry. I got to rehearse my number. It's a romantic number. I wish I had a girl to sing it to, you know, to get me in the mood.
I'll be a girl if you'll promise to respect me. Sing to me. I'm a great movie star and a princess of far-off India.
Really? What princess of India are you?
Rita Hayworth.
You're Rita Hayworth, but you're not even on the road to being a princess of India.
Maybe I'm not on the road, but I'm sure following the right alley. See, the idea of this gag is that, well, alley is an alley in the street, see? A-L-L-E-Y. But when you say alley, A-L-I, that's like the prince that is going to marry Rita Hayworth. It's all combined into one joke, and it's so funny, this kind of... Look how they're staring at me. See, Dean? Everybody hates me.
Ah, Jerry, relax. Have faith in me. We'll do all right on the radio show.
That's all right for you to say, but I haven't thought up any jokes to tell the people.
Oh, you'll think of something. What about me? I haven't even rehearsed my song. I don't even know if I'm in good voice.
Well, go ahead, sing. Give yourself a clue.
Oh, you won't be satisfied till you break my heart. You're never satisfied till a teardrop starts. I've tried to shower you with love and kisses, but all I ever get from you is nagging and bragging, my poor heart is sagging the way you toss my heart around. A crying shame, well, I'll bet you wouldn't like it if I did the same. You're only happy, tearing all my dreams apart. You won't be satisfied till you break my heart. Oh, you won't be satisfied till you break my heart. You're never satisfied till the teardrop starts. I've tried to shower you with love and kisses, but all I ever get from you is nagging and bragging, my poor heart is sagging the way you toss my heart around. It's a crying shame, well, I'll bet you wouldn't like it if I did the same. You're only happy, tearing all my dreams apart. You won't be satisfied until you break my heart.
Dean, I know you want my opinion of your rendition, and I cannot tell a lie. It was magnificent. Ah, well. Come on, let's go.
Oh, not so fast. Let me take a look at you first. Stand up. Wash your hands.
Yes, partner.
Wash your face.
Yes, sir.
Behind your ears.
Look, I'm just going to a broadcast. I'm not going to get married. Anyway, what about you? Did you bathe?
Well, of course. I take a bath every day.
You take a bath every day?
Well, of course.
Oh, Dean, I'm so unworthy of you.
You talk like that. What'll people think? When was the last time you took a bath?
In a tub?
Yes.
With soap?
Yes.
With water?
Yes.
Oh, Dean, I'm so unworthy of you.
Oh, let's get out of this apartment and go to NBC.
Who is it?
It's the maid. I have to come in and clean the apartment.
Well, okay, come on in. We're just leaving anyway.
Gee, look at the load of equipment she's carrying. I never saw such a stack of stuff in my life. Here, let me help you before you drop it, miss.
I can put it down myself, thank you.
Now let me help you with the other armful.
Oh, my goodness, just look at the condition of this room.
Huh? What's the matter with it?
It's clean.
Well, that's a break for you then. You have no work to do.
I don't have any work to do. That's fine. I'm the maid, and I'm supposed to clean the apartments every day. And if your apartment isn't dirty, then I don't have to clean it. And if I don't have to clean your apartment, I won't have anything to do for a half hour. So I'll go out in the hall, and I'll light a cigarette, and the manager will smell the smoke, and he'll come up to me, and he'll say, "What are you doing smoking a cigarette in the hall?" And I'll say, "I haven't anything to do right now." And he'll say, "Why aren't you cleaning the apartments?" And I'll say, "I didn't have to clean the apartments." And he'll say, "Oh, you don't have to clean the apartments, huh?" And he'll get mad and fire me and all because your apartment is clean. It's people like you that cause unemployment.
Miss, there's one thing I don't understand.
What's that?
Are you for real?
Miss, we're not trying to get you fired. Do the best you can. We have to leave. Come on, Jerry, let's go.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Now what?
There's a discrepancy in the bathroom.
A what?
One of you has to get married. The towels say his and hers, and you're a his and his.
Okay. Look, just put in 2 hisses. That'll fix it.
Oh, it's not as simple as that. If I give you another his, then I'll have an extra hers. And at the end of the week, I'll have 148 hisses and 149 herses. And the manager won't know why there's more herses than hisses because he doesn't know how many he's and she's there are in the building anyway.
Okay, take all the towels out. All of them. From now on, we'll dry on newspapers.
Well, the next thing on my list is dusting. I'll start with a dresser.
Don't touch that bottom drawer.
Why not?
Because that's where I keep my kittens. Hey, not the top drawer either.
What's in the top drawer?
Catnip.
Well, what's to prevent the cats in the bottom drawer from going up to the top drawer and eating the catnip?
In the middle drawer, bulldogs.
My, you're odd people.
We ain't odd. We're entertainers. We're Martin and Lewis, and we got a radio show to do in a few minutes.
Oh, you're on the radio. What do you do?
Well, one of us is a singer.
And the other guy's the funniest comedian you ever heard. Tells big jokes, kills the people, gets big laughs.
Which is which?
Well, come on, Jerry. Let's go to NBC.
Stand in line, folks, for the Martin and Lewis show. The line will move inside the studio in a few moments.
Come on, Miranda. Stand in line over here. Well, all right, but I don't understand, Henrietta. Who are Martin and Lewis?
Well, my goodness, where have you been, Miranda? Well, they're famous.
Oh?
My husband was the conductor on the train they came out here on, and he heard that the greatest entertainers New York ever saw were Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis.
Who told your husband that, Henrietta?
Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis.
Pardon me, ladies. Can you tell me how to get into the Martin and Lewis show?
Oh, stand behind us, young man, and we'll get the best seats. You know, we always come to see these new comedians the very first week, because usually they don't last for a second week.
They don't, huh? Well, you don't know Martin and Lewis. They're the best comedians in the world, and I say that for 2 reasons. Bread and butter.
You know, I'm anxious to see that handsome Dean Martin. You know, Miranda, that Dean Martin's just the whole show as far as I'm concerned. He really has talent.
Now, wait a minute, lady. It takes 2 to make a team, you know. Takes 2 to make a team. Martin and Lewis. That's the team. They got to stick together. That's the way it is with any team. Without Fibber, where would Molly be? Without Kaiser, where would Fraser be? And without Earl Warren, where would... what was that guy's name again?
Okay, Jerry, I parked the car. Hey, what are you doing in this line?
Oh, it's Dean Martin!
Hello, ladies.
Oh, isn't he handsome? What are you going to sing tonight, Mr. Martin?
I'd like to get you on a slow boat to China.
It's a deal. Get the tickets and I'll meet you at the door.
Come on, Jerry. let's go into the studio here. Let's go into the studio here, Jerry.
Gee, look at all the people in here, Dean. I'm scared.
Here's Dean Martin. I'm your producer, Mr. Martin.
I'm your director, Mr. Martin.
I'm your manager, Mr. Martin.
I'm your singer, Mr. Martin.
I'm your producer, Mr. Martin. I'm your director, Mr. Martin. I'm your leader, Mr. Martin. I'm your singer, Mr. Martin. What am I, the Larry Parks of this outfit?
Be quiet, Jerry. I gotta rehearse.
Oh, now I gotta be quiet. You're a big star, a big man. You're too important for me. My tongue got in the way of my eye tooth. I couldn't see what I was saying. You're just too important for me. Well, I don't need a house to fall on me. Goodbye, pal. I won't be a drag on you. I'm sorry it had to end like this. We had a lot of good times together. Even if I always did have to take the ugly ones.
Oh, Jerry. Jerry, your feelings are just hurt, that's all.
Oh, my feelings ain't hurt. I'm happy. I can laugh. I'll never forget you, Dean. You go on without me. And good luck, old pal. I won't ever be jealous of your success. When you're a big star and run over me in your big imported car, I'll still be happy. I'll just lay there and think, gee, Vogue tires. Well, I'll go now. You people don't want me here. I'll be seeing you.
Oh, poor Jerry. Why do you let him go away like that?
Oh, Jerry will be all right. Let's rehearse. And now I would like to present one of Hollywood's most glamorous stars, currently gracing your neighborhood screens in Sorrowful Jones, a charming actress who gracefully combines the talents of a leading lady and comedian.
Now, listen here, Dean Martin. Don't you say anything nice about me, you big bully, you monster. I'll have you know that
Wait a minute. Why, you are Lucille Ball. But what's the matter, Lucille?
Don't act like you don't know. You've got some nerve, Dean Martin, asking me to come down here and be a guest on your radio program after the way you beat up that sweet, adorable little Jerry Lewis. Why, if I weren't a perfect lady, I'd slug you. The idea, beating up that darling, cute lammy pie.
Me?
Yes, you, Dean Martin.
Well, Jerry, hey, where'd he go?
He's behind me where he'll be safe. He's not going to stay out here where you can knock him down again.
Knock him down?
Yes, and kicking him and throwing dirt in his face and trying to drive your car over him.
I did that?
See, Lucille, he admits it.
Oh, I get it. Jerry told you that story.
Yes, he did. I never met anyone so contemptible as you in my whole life. How could you treat Jerry that way? He's so darling and so cute.
You forgot lammy pie.
Just exactly what did Jerry tell you I did to him?
He told me the whole story. It's incredible to me that you could pick on a little fella like that when you have such a grand physique. When you're so much bigger than he is, with all those great, big, powerful muscles. You big...
Yes?
And the things you called him. It's just hard to imagine names like that being spoken by you. Why, you have that wonderful, soft, caressing voice.
Yes?
Lucille, hey, Lucille!
Will you stop tugging at my skirt?
I just wanted you to know I'm still here. Lewis is the name. Jerry Lewis, they call me. Don't stop, Lucille. Tell him off good.
All right. You're right. Dean Martin, how could you have slugged poor Jerry when you look so handsome with those soft eyes and long lashes?
Yes?
Hey, Lucille.
Shut up, you little schnook.
Schnook. Me, schnook.
The idea of telling those awful fibs about this darling, cute lammy pie, Dean Martin. I ought to turn you over my knee and spank you.
Ding, ding.
Yes?
Dean, are you going to stand there and let her talk to me like that?
Yes? But really, he isn't bad at all, Lucille. In fact, he's a very nice guy. In fact, he's a wonderful guy. Why, Jerry's the important half of our act. He's the talent. Why, he's the one who gets all the laughs. He's the one the critics rave about. He's the one the people love.
Oh, what a ham.
Well, it's sure nice of you to come down tonight and help us get our first show started, Lucille. I figured we need plenty of advice here in Hollywood.
Come on, snap out of it.
Dean, I'm sure you're going to be very successful.
Well, how about Jerry?
Yeah, how about that?
You'll see, I'm going to be a big star. When I make my first picture, I'll be sensational. I'll be... Well, you do think I'll be a picture star, don't you, Lucille?
Why not? Lassie made it.
If you're going to make fun of me, I'll quit the show. I'll give Dean all the money we've saved, and I'll go home and lock myself in a closet, kick my heels, and hold my breath until I die. And if you want to know why I do these things, it's because, listen.
Well, don't get too desperate, Jerry. Look, I've planned a little party for you and Dean after the show. Lots of important people will be there.
Well, that's wonderful, Lucille.
Well, the only thing, Dean, does Jerry know how to act at a party?
Do I know how to act at a party? Why, one time in the back room of a barber shop...
Jerry! Hold it.
You see what I mean?
Miss Ball. Miss Ball, Mr. Martin. I would like to inform you that Gerald Lewis, when attending a social event... It's
too close to the paper. What do you want?
Miss Ball and Mr. Martin, I'd like to inform you that Gerald Lewis, when attending a social event, always conducts himself with complacent, elegant simplicity, utterly devoid of ostentation.
Jerry Lewis, where did you get words like that?
Don't ask me. I'm just as surprised as you are. Gee, I hope there's a girl there for me. Lucille, I like him about my height.
Well, let's see now. Betty Grable will be there.
And, of course, I like him about my age.
Uh-huh. Well, Ann Blythe will be there.
And I like him to be of my intelligence.
Sorry, Margaret O'Brien can't stay out that late. Jerry, I hope you understand. I've invited important people. People of refinement, breeding, culture.
Don't worry about me. Refinement and breeding and culture pour out of me like sweat off a horse's neck.
Lucille, don't worry. I'll guarantee Jerry.
Well, I don't know. I'm afraid he'll be a little raucous.
Raucous? Me? Don't ever worry about Jerry Lewis being raucous. I'll make more noise than anyone there.
Oh. Now, Lucille. If you'll just tell us the address of the party, and by the way, Lucille, shall we dress?
Naturally, we don't want the cops.
Oh, the party sounds like it'll be a lot of fun, Lucille, and I'm sure we'll know exactly what to do.
Sure, we've been educated. You know, I worked my way through Harvard.
What?
Well, he did stumble his way through high school.
He looks more like he had to shoot his way out of kindergarten.
I'm really looking forward to this, Lucille.
Well, my house isn't one of those elaborate Hollywood mansions, Dean.
Oh, there's one thing, Jerry. If we decide to go in for a dip, be sure you don't go in the servants' swimming pool.
I'm sorry to butt in, but we go on the air in 30 seconds.
Okay, fine. Are you nervous, Jerry?
Me? Nervous?
20 seconds.
I'll be all right. I'll kill the people.
15 seconds.
Just let me at them.
10 seconds.
I'll fracture them.
5 seconds. 4 seconds. 3, 2.
I'll pulverize them.
The Martin and Lewis show is on the air.
Go ahead, Jerry. Start talking.
Yes, sir. A very funny thing happened to me on the way to the studio.
Well, come on, Lucille.
help me hold Jerry up and we'll do the song.
Okay, up he goes.
Up he goes. If you got it, you don't need it.
If you need it, you don't got it.
You don't get it, shame on you. Funny, funny, funny what money can do.
Ask the rich man, he'll confess. Money can't buy happiness.
Ask a poor man, he don't doubt.
But he'd rather be miserable with than without.
I love life and I want to live. I love life and I say that no.
Yeah, but I love life.
I know, but you don't have to spoil it for the rest of us.
If you spend it, please be wiser.
If you save it, you're a miser.
If you don't want it,
you're cuckoo. Funny, funny, funny what money can do. Gee, it's good to be home in bed. And, Dean, I'm sorry I messed up our radio program tonight.
Forget it, Jerry. It's past midnight. Better get some sleep. Good night.
Good night.
Well, who could that be?
What do you want?
It's me, the maid. I'm sorry, but you'll have to get out of those beds.
Get out of bed? Why?
Well, you see, those beds are 6x3 beds. And this afternoon I made a mistake and I put on 7x4 sheets. And if I put the wrong sheets on your beds, the manager will say to me,
Look, miss, if I get up, I'll start walking the floor. And if I start walking the floor, I'll get into a bad humor. And when I go to embassy tomorrow, they'll say, Jerry Lewis, why did you faint on your radio program? And I'll say, who could help but fainting? I was excited. And they'll say, oh, talking back, eh? I guess you don't want to go on the radio very bad. And I'll say, and they'll say, and they'll fire me. It's people like you that cause unemployment.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, folks.
You've just heard the new Martin and Lewis show. If you enjoyed them, tune in again each Sunday night at the same time, and next week our guest will be Bob Hope. This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
That was Martin and Lewis on NBC, on April 3, 1949, as Lucille Ball as the guest host. Why Jack Benny will not appear on the program. The program stars, of course, Jack Benny. Also appearing are Barbara Stanwyck, Basil Rathbone, Jean Hersholt, and Michael Curtis, the director of Casablanca. Like so many of Jack's own programs, this episode of Screen Guild Theater is the story of the show within the show. Jack Benny, learning of a program being produced with a stellar cast, is desperate to ingratiate himself into the production. Jack calls Jean Hersholt, president of the Screen Guild. Getting nowhere with Hersholt, he calls Michael Curtis, who will be directing the program. Curtis wants nothing to do with Jack Benny and tries to pass him off to Barbara Stanwyck, who, along with Basil Rathbone, will be starring in the show. Stanwyck tries to shift the responsibility onto Jean Hersholt, but when she learns that Jack has already discussed his participation with Hersholt, Barbara realizes that they have run out of options. Jack Benny will be coming to the rehearsal. Why Jack Benny will not appear on the program is a superb example of ensemble acting. None of the stars, all huge names in entertainment at the time, let their egos get in the way of the production. They share both the limelight and the laughs freely and generously, perhaps inspired by the story, about an actor whose colossal ego causes nothing but problems. Of course, the mission of Screen Guild Theater would inspire such generosity, with all proceeds and performers' salaries going to the Motion Picture Relief Fund, the charity that supported those of the film industry who had fallen on hard times. Why Jack Benny will not appear on the program is also a fine example of Hollywood playing itself, a premise that always seemed to bring out the best in the stars, as they send up their Hollywood images. Basil Rathbone plays Basil Rathbone better than anyone. Here he is the straightest of straight men, deflating the Benny character's ego at every turn. Barbara Stanwyck plays both herself and, in the show within the show, her trademark melodramatic character, histrionic and spiraling toward disaster. Stanwyck is very obviously having the most fun. It's a pleasure to hear her hearty laughter at Jack Benny's expertly delivered one-liners and ad-libs. Benny himself is completely in his element, playing the slightly pompous, slightly self-absorbed, and not so slightly vain character that he had honed throughout his many years in radio. Here, Jack gets to play it to the extreme, frustrating every other character in the show with his self-importance and irksome interruptions. Not until 2 decades later, in the Dick Van Dyke Show episode It May Look Like a Walnut, would walnuts again be this funny. Here is the Screen Guild Theater's broadcast from March 27, 1944.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Lady Esther Screen Guild players have a surprise for you tonight. It's my pleasure to introduce the president of the Motion Picture Relief Fund, Mr. Gene Hersholt.
Thank you and good evening. For our guests on tonight's program, we have Barbara Stanwyck, Basil Rathbone, and your actor Michael Curtiz, 3 of Filmdom's outstanding personalities who will offer...
Just a minute, Gene. I thought Jack Benny was supposed to be one of the guests here tonight.
Jack Benny?
Yes.
Well, he was, but he got a little temperamental, so so he's just not here tonight.
But, Gene, Jack told me
Look,
that...
Truman, let me explain the whole thing. When Jack found out that Michael Curtiz was going to direct Barbara Stanwyck and Basil Rathbone in a dramatic sketch, right away he wanted to muscle in on it. Oh. So he called me up and tried to sell himself. I had a terrible time getting rid of him, and this is exactly what happened. Hello?
Hello, this is Jack Benny speaking. I'd like to talk to Mr. Holt.
Who?
Mr. Holt. Mr. Hirsch Holt. Is he in?
Well, you must mean Gene Hersholt. This is he speaking.
Oh, Gene Hersholt. Yes. Well, Mr. Hersholt, I called up the Screen Guild players about being on the Lady Esther program next Monday with Barbara Stanwyck.
Yes, I heard about that, but didn't they explain to you that the play is all set and the cast is complete?
Well, yes.
I'll tell you what. Let's make it some other night.
Well, now, look, don't give me that some other time stuff, and you don't have to beat around the bush either. Look, Mr. Hersholt, if you don't want me to be on this show, just say so. You know, all I want is a simple answer. Yes or no?
No.
Now, wait a minute. Look, I can tell from your attitude, Mr. Hersholt, that this is a personal matter. I mean, what have you got against me?
I haven't got anything against you, Jack, but you're a comedian. And frankly, I don't think you have enough dramatic ability to play the lead opposite Miss Stanwyck.
What do you mean I can't be dramatic? Did you ever see me when I was worried? Why, I'm only 32 and I've got gray hair.
You're only what?
I've got gray hair, can't you hear? Now, look, who can I speak to besides you about this?
Well, Jack, there's only one suggestion I can make. Get in touch with Mr. Michael Curtiz. He is going to direct the play we're doing on this program.
Michael Curtiz, the director who won the Academy Award? Oh, boy.
And if it's all right with Curtiz, it's all right with me.
Well, thanks. I'll call him right away. By the way, what's Mr. Curtiz's telephone number?
Ulrich 8900.
Wait till I write that down. Ulrich 8... Hey, wait a minute. That's the number you call to get the right time. Now, look, Mr. Hersholt. Hello? Operator, I was cut off.
You weren't cut off, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry. Fine president for the Motion Picture Relief Fund. Got a good mind to run against him. Now, let's see. Where can I get Curtiz's number? Oh, here's the telephone book right here. Let's see. There's C, cup, cur, curry. I hate curry. Why do they have to take chicken and spoil it with that stuff? Curtsy, Curtiz. Oh, there it is. No, miss. I want to talk to Mr. Curtiz personally.
Who's calling, please?
Benny, Jack Benny.
Yes, sir. Is it about insurance or something?
No, it's about acting.
Oh.
Please get Mr. Curtiz on the phone.
Yes, sir.
Insurance yet. Haven't sold a policy since Warner Brothers picked up my option. In the first place...
Hello?
Oh, hello, Mr. Curtiz. This is Jack. I'm calling you about that Lady Esther show you're directing next week, and I was wondering if there was a part in it for me.
Jack who?
Oh, pardon me, Benny. Jack Benny. Remember, we met once at a party at Marlene Dietrich's house.
Marlene Dietrich?
You know, the girl with the legs.
All girls I know have legs.
That's right, they do. They do. Now, look, Mr. Cortez.
Oh, Jack Benny. Oh. Are you the radio comedian?
And violinist. Now, here's the situation, Mr. Cortez. I just spoke to Gene Herschel, president of the Motion Picture Relief Fund, whom, incidentally, I'm running against next year. Mr. Herschel said if it was okay with you, I could be on the program.
But I'm not directing a comedy, Mr. Benny. It's going to be a very serious, dramatic play.
Well, gee, I can do drama. I made a picture once called The Meanest Man in the World. I didn't get one laugh in it. Now what do you say?
I'm glad I missed it.
Look, I don't mean that. I'm talking about acting with Barbara Stanwyck with the Lady Esther Screen Guild players.
Now, Mr. Benny, I'm trying to explain it to best of my ability. You are a comedian, and it's impossible to convince anyone that you are a lover.
Well, I'm too much of a gentleman to mention names, but, But there are a couple of girls at the Florentine Gardens that'll give you an argument about that, brother.
Now, just wait a moment, Jack. That Basil Rathbone is all set to play opposite Barbara Stanwyck, and there is nothing I can do about it.
Basil Rathbone? Well, why can't we make it a triangle? Why can't he be her husband and I her lover?
Because I am a director and not a miracle man.
Well, I'll take care of the miracles. It can be worked out, don't worry.
Oh, all right. I tell you what, Jack. I'm very busy now. I suggest you call Miss Stanwyck. And if it's all right with her, it's okay with me.
Thank you, I'll do that. Oh, what's Miss Stanwyck's telephone number?
Oh, I think it's Crestview 67071.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Hello, Joe's Fish Market.
What?
Come on, buddy. I haven't got all day.
Is Barbara there?
Barracuda, 42 cents a pound.
Barracuda? Who is this anyway?
This is Joe's Fish Market.
Oh, I don't want any fish. I've got
What's wrong with fish?
Nothing.
Boats going out every day, taking a chance with submarines, and you don't like the fish they bring back.
Look, it isn't that. I just happen to call...
It's guys like you that are eating up all the cows in this country.
I never ate a cow in my life. I got the wrong number. Goodbye. Cortez gave me the wrong number purposely. Oh, well, I'll get Barbara in the phone book, and I won't take any chances this time. I'll trap her into letting me play the part. Now, let's see. I'll disguise my voice. Let's see. Stanwyck. S-S-T, Stan, Standish, Stank. I used to go with a girl named Stank. Olga Stank. Stanley, Stanton. There it is, Stanwyck. Hello? I'd like to speak to Miss Stanwyck, please.
This is Miss Stanwyck speaking.
Oh, my name is Fizzbucket. Roscoe J. Fizzbucket. I'm with the Radio Gallipo. Tell me, Miss Stanwyck, who do you listen to on Sundays?
Amy McPherson.
I see. Well, Miss Stanwyck, do you ever listen to Jack Benny?
Oh, yes, I never miss him. He's wonderful.
Well, that's nice to know. Tell me, Miss Stanwyck, would you be interested in doing a play that is a love scene with Mr. Benny on the radio?
On the radio, back porch, or Davenport, no.
But you just said he was wonderful.
I don't mind listening to him, but I won't have him pawing me.
Who said I was going to paw you?
Just a minute. Who is this, anyway?
It ain't Joe's Fish Market. Now, look, Barbara.
Why, Jack Benny, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Oh, I was only kidding. Now, Barbara, Mr. Cortez suggested that I call you about the Lady Esther show next Monday.
Yes?
Have you any objection to my playing the part of your husband in the sketch?
But I understood Basil Rathbone was playing the part.
Well, he's scheduled to, tentatively. But if you want me, all you've got to do is speak up. I said all you've got to do is speak up. Barbara, are you there?
Yes?
Oh. Well, I wish you'd think this over, Barbara.
But, Jack, this part doesn't fit you. It has to be someone with a lot of sex appeal.
Well, I have sex appeal. Gee, I was thrown out of the Palladium 3 times for dancing too close.
Dancing too close. You were just tired and hanging on.
Well, no wonder the way I jitterbug. Come on, what do you say, Barbara? How about me doing the play with you instead of Rathbone?
Well, I really have nothing to do with it, Jack. Why don't you call up Gene Hersholt?
I did call him, and it's up to you. Now, look, Barbara, I've got another idea. Why can't
Will you please deposit 5 cents for an additional 3 minutes?
Whoops. 3 minutes already? Just a second. Would you mind dropping a nickel in, Barbara?
I'm sorry, but I don't have a payphone in my house.
Oh, well, that's right. What's the matter with me?
Do I get that nickel or do I have to cut you off?
Now, don't get excited. Here, I found one. There. No more 3 minutes and the man in the moon. It doesn't seem like we've been talking for 3 minutes, does it, Barbara?
You ought to be on this end.
Oh, yes. Well, come to the point, Barbara. Look it. Here's what I was going to ask you. When do you start rehearsing the play?
Tomorrow night at my house, but I don't think you ought to...
At your house, eh? What time?
8 o'clock, but really, Jack, I don't think
8 o'clock. Well, thanks, Barbara. See you tomorrow night. I'll read the part, and Basil Rathbone will read the part, and may the best man win. That's fair enough, isn't it?
I'll say it is.
Swell. Well, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh, by the way, Barbara, shall I come for dinner? Oh, well, some other time.
Gene Hersholt will continue his explanation of Jack Benny's absence from the Lady Esther Screen Guild Players broadcast in just a moment. And now, I know you will want to hear this interesting beauty counsel from a great authority, Lady Esther.
Suppose I were to say to you, no one is born with dry, rough skin. No one is born with blackheads, big pores. And I can prove that no one needs to have skin troubles at any time. I can prove it right now with my 30-second patch test. Then suppose you said, what is the patch test? And how will it prove that no one needs to have skin troubles? Well, here's how I would describe the patch test to you. And I do hope you'll try it tonight if you can. Just take a little Lady Esther face cream and rub it on one small section of your face, wherever you want to make the test. A good place is your forehead or chin or perhaps one cheek. The main thing is to apply the cream to just that one little part of your face. Then wipe it off and compare the difference between that patch of skin and all the rest of the skin around it. See how much brighter, fresher, and clearer it looks, how much finer and younger textured. Feel it, touch it. Notice the delicate silken feel of it, the wonderful new softness and smoothness. You see, Lady Esther Face Cream does all the 4 things your skin needs most for beauty. It really cleans your skin, it softens your skin. It helps nature refine the pores, and it leaves a smooth, perfect base for powder. So make the patch test tonight, for the sake of your own appearance. And remember, what you see happen to that one small patch of skin will happen to your whole face when you use Lady Esther 4-Purpose Face Cream. You'll look so much lovelier, so much more exciting after the very first application. Just let the patch test prove it.
Well, Mr. Hersholt, what happened after that phone call? Did Jack Benny show up at Barbara Stanwyck's house?
Yes, Truman. The next night about 7:30. I wasn't there, of course, but the way I understand it, when Jack arrived, Miss Stanwyck was still having dinner. So the butler opened the door and he...
Right this way, Mr. Benny. I'll show you into the drawing room.
Thank you, thanks.
Mr. Rathbone is here already.
Oh, he is. One of those anxious guys, eh? Say, this is a lovely home.
May I take your umbrella, Mr. Benny?
Oh, yes. I should have left it out in the hall. You know, it looked like rain when I started out. Machine, dum da da dum, bum 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 bum. Well, Mr. Rathbone, I'm Jack Benny, the movie star.
Now, how do you do?
How do you do? So the two rivals meet, eh?
Rivals?
Yes. Well, perhaps I should let Barbara tell you, but it looks like, I'm taking your place on the Lady Esther Screen Guild show next Monday.
You're taking my place?
Well, it's this way. At rehearsal tonight, you and I are both going to read the part, and of course, the best man will win.
The best man?
Yes.
Mr. Benny, when only two people are involved in a statement, the comparative is used. You don't say the best man will win, you say the better man will win.
Oh.
Now, if three or more people are involved, then the word best is the correct adjective.
I see.
So before we compete for the part in this play, Mr. Benny, perhaps it would be as well if you first learned how to speak English.
Well, for your information, Mr. Rathbone, I went to Waukegan High School 4 years, and I excelled in English. In fact, I got 99 every single term.
Now, ain't that interesting?
Now, cut that out! And getting back to the Screen Guild show, the way the script is written now, you play the part of Miss Stanwyck's husband. Is that correct?
That is correct and final.
Well, that remains to be seen. I've heard of sore losers in my life, but this guy takes the cake, you know.
Step right in here, Mr. Cortez. Miss Stanwyck will be with you shortly.
Thank you. Oh, hello, Basil. Hello.
Michael, boy, how are you?
Fine.
Oh, hello, Mr. Cortez.
What are you doing here?
Well, I just thought I'd drop around to see if I could...
Now, listen, Mike. I don't know what this is all about, but I demand an explanation.
Look, Mr. Rathbone.
Explanation? That's what I want.
Look, Mr. Cortez.
I was under the impression that I was to appear opposite Miss Stanwyck.
Look, Mr. Rathbone.
Of course you were.
Look, Mr. Cortez.
Then what is this all about?
Look, Mr. Now look!
Now, Mr. Benny, when I spoke to you on the telephone, I thought I made perfectly clear
Good evening, everybody.
Well, here's Barbara.
Hello,
Barbara.
How are you?
Well, here we are.
Just set the coffee down here, Richard.
Yes, madame.
Demi-tasse, Mr. Cortez.
No, thank you.
Coffee, Basil.
Yes, please.
I'll have some, too.
Here you are, Jack.
Thanks. Oh, Barbara, this is the better coffee I ever tasted.
Mr. Benny, the word is best.
There are only two of us drinking it. Now make up your mind. Well, we're all here, so let's get started with the rehearsal.
Just one moment. Oh, Mike, let's get this settled for Mr. Benny's benefit, shall we? Is he or is he not replacing me in the play?
Certainly not. That's ridiculous.
Of course it's ridiculous.
Why, it's absurd.
You stay out of this.
Please, stop. Stop all this bickering. Now, Jack, if you would like to watch the rehearsal, just take a chair over there and be quiet.
Yes, sir. Oh, Barbara, is it all right if I have some of these walnuts here?
Go right ahead. Help yourself, Jack.
Thanks. Big ones. Jumbos.
Now, Barbara, you too, Basil. If you both turn to the page 12 on the script, we'll proceed.
Boy, these nuts are good. Sure are good.
Now, Barbara, you are a wealthy society girl who is married to a New York stockbroker. That's who you are, Basil. But he's not in love with you, Barbara. As the French say, it's a marriage of convenience.
That was a tough one.
Mr. Benny! Will you stop eating those nuts?
Barbara said I could. Anyway, Mr. Cortez, I don't want to sit around here like a bump on a log. If I can't have the lead in the play, isn't there something I can do?
All right. If it makes you happy, You can play the part of a butler.
The butler? Okay.
All right, here's your script.
Thanks.
Now remember, Barbara, you are the wife. Basil, you are the husband who doesn't understand her. And Jack?
I'm the butler whom Barbara really loves.
You are the butler, that's all.
Okay. Heavens to Betsy.
All right, Barbara. Now you start the scene. Remember, your husband is 2 hours late for dinner and you are a nervous wreck.
I understand.
Go ahead. Call for your butler.
Yes. Oh, Smedley. Smedley.
Yes, madame. Smedley yet. What is it, madame?
Are you sure my husband hasn't phoned?
No, madame.
That's strange. He said he'd be back at... What time is it, Smedley?
It's 8:30. Shall I serve dinner, madame?
Oh, no, Smedley. I'm much too upset to eat. I think I'll go to a movie. What's playing in the village?
George Washington Slept Here, starring Jack Benny.
That is not in the script. Read the line that are written, please.
Well, it doesn't hurt to give my picture a plug. It doesn't change the plot any, does it? For heaven's sake.
Read it on the way it's written.
All right. Between Hirschhold and you, I don't understand anything. All right, now give me that again, will you, Barbara?
Okay. No, Smedley, I'm much too upset to eat. I think I'll go to a movie. What's playing in the village?
Casablanca. How's that?
Much better.
And George Washington Slept Here. It's a double feature. Yeah.
Jack, please.
All right, I'll start over again. Shall I serve dinner, madame?
No, Smedley, I'm much too upset to eat. I think I'll go to a movie. Is one of my pictures playing in the village?
There can't be 3 features on one bill.
Shut up!
All right.
Now, Barbara, at this point, the husband entered the room.
I'm ready, Mike.
Oh, Mr. Cortez, let me ask you something. When Basil comes in, or Basil, by the way, how do you pronounce that? Basil or Basil?
Mr. Rathbone.
Oh, well, when Mr. Rathbone comes in...
Just read the line, Jack. I handle the rest.
All right.
Ready?
Director.
Ready, Basil? Make your entrance, please.
Right. Oh, good evening, darling. So sorry I'm late.
Oh, Ronald, you're always late and you're always sorry. It's been like this for months. What has come between us? If I only knew, maybe we could work things out.
No, it's nothing, my dear. It's just that I've been so busy lately at the office. Let's forget it.
Dinner is served. Oh, pardon me. I came in too soon.
Understand it, Ronald. We must come to some understanding. This can't go on forever.
Gwen, let's be adult about the whole thing, shall we? Every night it's the same argument, this constant nagging. I tell you, I've been working at the office.
But I phoned your office and they said you left at 2 this afternoon.
Well, I had business at the bank. Besides, I forgot where I parked my car.
Fine Sherlock Holmes can't even find his car.
Jack, stop interrupting. Continue, Barbara.
Oh, it's no use, Ronald. I know you're lying. Look at you. Everything you say, everything you do gives you away.
Now, Gwen, please.
What's that on your collar? Is it lipstick?
It ain't ketchup.
Jack, please!
Well, I don't want to stand around here like a dope.
You got the right line now. Say it.
Oh, yes. Beg pardon, madame. Dinner is served.
Jack, don't use such a thick accent.
Well, now I've heard everything. Talk yet. Dinner is served.
Ah, dinner. Come along, Gwen.
We're not having dinner, Ronald. Not until we reached a definite understanding.
But I'm hungry.
Oh, Ronald, I can't go through another day of this uncertainty. I must know. Do you love me or not?
Of course I love you.
You're lying, Ronald, lying.
Very well, then I'm lying.
Gee.
You might as well know the truth, Gwen. I've never loved you. Never.
Guy must be nuts or something.
And if you weren't so stupid, you'd have known it a long time ago.
Ronald, what are you saying?
Gee whiz.
I married you for your money, that's all. Everybody else knows it. And if you weren't such a silly, blind little fool, you'd have realized it yourself.
Oh, stop, Ronald,
Well,
stop!
Anne, now that you know how things stand between us, the sooner you divorce me, the happier I'll be.
No, I will never divorce you, Ronald. I couldn't live without you. I couldn't.
Tears, woman's tears. Oh, stop the dramatics.
Ronald!
I'm moving to my club. Smedley, pack my clothes.
I wouldn't touch your dirty... You rat!
Jack, stick to your lines. You are the butler.
I don't care.
Continue, Basil.
Well, goodbye, Gwen. I'm going to my club. Our attorneys can get together tomorrow.
Don't go, Ronald. Please don't go.
Oh, stop hanging on to me.
But I won't give you up. I won't.
Stop it, I say. Stop it. Let go.
No.
Then take that.
Oh!
That's the last straw. Tear off your coat, Ratbone.
But, Jack, this is only a play.
Play nothing. Put up those dukes, Basil.
Jack, if you don't behave yourself, you can't be in the play.
The heck with the play. If you think I'm going to stand by and see this cad strike the woman I love.
The woman you love?
Yes, Barbara. You might as well know it now. I've been crazy about you for years.
But Jack, please.
I don't care who knows it. I don't care if the whole world knows it. I love you, Barbara, as I've never loved before. I know you will never feel the same way about me, so I'll walk out of your life forever. But before I go, kiss me. Goodbye, my love.
Wow. Now I know why they call him the Waukegan Wolf.
But anyway, Truman, that's why Jack Benny couldn't be here with us on our program tonight.
Oh, well, Gene. Maybe it's just as well. Thank you, Barbara Stanwyck, Gene Hersholt, Basil Rathbone, Michael Cortez, and last but certainly not least, you, Jack, for appearing with the Lady Esther Screen Guild players tonight and giving us such a delightful half hour of laughter. We enjoyed every minute of it. And now, friends, before we tell you about next week's show, here's a word from our hostess, Lady Esther.
If you are one of those who have not yet made the Lady Esther patch test, I hope you won't put it off any longer. Make this 30-second test tonight, for the sooner you do, the sooner you will have a smoother, fresher, more youthful-looking skin. To make the patch test, just rub a little Lady Esther face cream on one small part of your face. Choose a rough, flaky section of skin. Your forehead's a good place, or perhaps one cheek. All you do is rub Lady Esther face cream on that space. Wipe it off, and see the startling results in your mirror. See how much brighter, clearer, and fresher that patch of skin looks than any other part of your face. Get right up close to your mirror and examine the patch of skin. See how much smoother and finer textured it looks compared to the skin around it. Touch it with your fingers. Feel the wonderful new softness of it, the delicate, petal-like smoothness. And remember, what you see happen to that one little patch of skin will happen to your whole face when you apply Lady Esther 4-Purpose Face Cream. For this one cream does all the 4 things your skin needs most for beauty. Just imagine how lovely and exciting you will look when you use Lady Esther Face Cream first, and then apply glamorous Lady Esther Face Powder to the smooth, new freshness of your skin.
Next week, the Lady Esther Screen Guild players will present Hello, Frisco, Hello. It will star Jack Oakey, Jenny Sims, and Dick Powell. Be sure to listen. Jack Benny's next release will be The Horn Blows at Midnight. Barbara Stanwyck has just completed the picture, My Reputation. Michael Cortez, director of the Academy Award winner Casablanca, has recently completed Passage to Marseille, all Warner Brothers productions. Basil Rathbone will soon be seen in the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Technicolor production, Bathing Beauty. Gene Hirschholt can be heard every Wednesday night on his own radio show, Dr. Christian. Music on tonight's program was arranged and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. To try Lady Esther four-purpose face cream, just get the smallest size jar. Later, you can get the economical large jar and keep refilling the small one for convenience. This is Truman Bradley speaking for Lady Esther, saying thank you and good night, everyone.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
That was the Screen Guild Theater's broadcast of Why Jack Benny will not appear in this program from March 27, 1944. The Penny Dreadfuls are a British sketch comedy troupe consisting of comedians Humphrey Kerr, David Reed, and Tom Tuck, often supported by Margaret Caborn Smith. The troupe are best known for writing and performing The Brothers Faversham and the Penny Dreadfuls Present, comic plays on BBC Radio 4. Here is the Penny Dreadfuls Present Guy Fawkes from November 5, 2009.
The Penny Dreadfuls present Guy Fawkes.
There are 5 of them. No, wait, 4. One's not yet arrived. 4 around the table in the back room of the Duck and Drake. It's a room usually reserved for strumpet checks, the weekly rat fight, and kids' parties. But not today. They'll not be disturbed here. There's Catesby, sat proud at the head of the table, with a black hat and his little beard. Robert Catesby, the mastermind, the steady hand, the leader. The man holding the drinks is Thomas Percy. Black hat, little beard. He's a fool, but he's rich. But he is also a fool. Beside him, John Wright, a jolly sod, always with a story to tell, a little beard and a black hat. And across from him sits Thomas Winter, moustache, bonnet. But one chair is empty, that of the 5th man. If it is never filled, then all this can stop here, go no further. But he's just running late. The seat will be filled. The room sparks with plots and schemes, an air of conspiracy, of importance, of work to be done.
Here we go, 5 pints of gin.
What about for the rest of us, Perce? Hey!
No, it's 1 pint each.
Excellent work, Master Percy.
Here are your jellied pig's feet, Master Winter.
Thank you.
Lamb's ears in brine for Master Catesby.
I think those were for John, actually. Cheers, Percy.
And here are your cheesy rabbit strips, Master Catesby.
Thank you.
Pot of sugar for me, and I got some deep-fried birds for Fawkes when he gets here.
Yes. Where is Fawkes?
I don't know. He left the house a couple of hours before I did. Said he had something to do.
Sounds ominous. Who is she?
I've no idea where he's got to. You know what he's like when he gets that look in his eye?
Terrifying.
How many times, Percy? He hasn't got it in for you.
That's easy for you to say. He looks at me like a wolf looking at something it really hates.
He looks at everyone like that. I promise you. Guy doesn't hate anyone. Apart from all Protestants, of course.
Hear, hear.
He does really hate them, doesn't he? I mean, I'm burning with a fiery passion that no man could contain.
Sure.
But Fawkes is just an absolute crazy horse.
He's not that mad. You should have seen him at school. Very delicate creature. Always getting notes from his mum to excuse him from double bear baiting with Mr. Newbury.
Fawkes a weed? Surely not.
No, I'm telling you, he was. No brothers growing up, you see. Just him and 2 sisters. Made him soft. Got a lot of hand-me-down dresses. Anyway, something changed when we were about, I don't know, 15 or 16. Just like that. The quietest little boy transformed into this regular Catholic firebrand. Hardly a week went by when he wasn't up before the magistrate for throwing stones at the Archbishop's carriage, or fighting with the Protestant kids from the school down the road, or shaving Puritans are lame into the coat of the mayor's dog. Some people said he got a taste for communion wine, others that he'd been viciously beaten up by a gang of vicars. But my guess was it was all over a girl.
Really? The roguish Master Fawkes, a young buck in love?
In my opinion, he'd got the hots for this woman who lived nearby. He won't ever have spoken to her, of course. Like I said, soft. Thing was, she got caught harbouring Jesuit priests. We all know how that story ends. Under a pile of heavy stones.
Gosh.
You could say she was his first crush.
Oh, come on, that's just awful.
Thank you.
No wonder he hates Protestants.
I think that's why he ended up going to fight in the Netherlands. A soldier's life is a simpler thing. Out there, you saw a Protestant, you shot a Protestant. It was heaven for Guy.
They say his mines blew up 500 Protestants at the siege of Calais.
Would that we could all be so philanthropic.
A pox on Protestants!
A pox! And upon King James and that devil that runs the tower.
William Wade.
A pox on William Wade!
A pox!
I heard his hobby was putting red-hot bodkins up Catholics' tonkers.
And a pox on his tonker!
Gentlemen, England is sick. She has a contagion of the head, and we shall strike that head from her shoulders and let her grow a new, healthier Catholic one.
Yes, Catesby. I just hope that we may not lose too much good flesh as we cut away the rotten.
As do we all. As the saying goes, you cannot roast a chicken without first killing and roasting a chicken. I propose a toast. To the Holy Father, may the Lord God Almighty grant his strength and wisdom to his holiness the Pope, and send the spirit of 1,000 angry lobsters to torment that clap-riddled wretch King James.
Amen.
Open up in the name of the King!
We're discovered!
Keep your heads, gentlemen. We may still fight our way out of here.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
I'm coming in!
All right, lads.
Fawkes, you damn maniac! You scared us half to death!
Oh, your faces. You're all right, Percy. You look a bit out of sorts. Did you think it was the big bad Protestants come to throw you in the tower?
Poor Percy. He's bought you a drink, Guy, and a bag of deep-fried birds.
Oh, cheers, Pers. Always good to have the money men round, isn't it?
Where have you been, Guy?
Oh, yeah. Sorry I'm late, everybody. We're pushing the vicar down a well.
What?
Yeah, saw one drawing some water, so I just grabbed his knees, tipped him in.
Brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant. It's really brilliant.
Yeah, well, his congregation weren't too happy about it. I got chased halfway across London before I lost him.
You're a bloody madman.
Oh, well, what can I say? Just got the urge to go hunting for incense dodgers.
Do be careful, Guy. We can't come this far only to give up because you've been arrested for a breach of the priest.
Yeah, all right, Winter. Keep your shirt on, son.
OK. Catesby, everyone's here now, so maybe we could get cracking.
Yes, I quite agree. Gentlemen, if we could take our seats. Now, Percy and I have been talking for some time, and we can't avoid it any longer. We're getting low on money.
How low?
Let's just say, if we had a shilling for every shilling we haven't got, we'd have all the shillings. Which isn't great, obviously.
No money.
We're going to have to bring in some more people to help pay for everything.
Really?
We've been giving this some thought, and there are a few people I can think of who are both sympathetic to our cause and richer than pheasant sorbet. Ambrose Rookwood, Everard Digby, Francis Tresham.
Oh, especially Treshy? You can't be serious, Catesby. The man's an elite tool.
Maybe, but he's rich.
How have we run out of money?
With the tunnelling equipment, the rent on the cellar, the safe houses, the disguises, all these pints of gin. That's to say nothing of the money we'll need for the uprising after James's death. Weapons, horses, name badges, squash, paper plates, it all adds up. We're hoping that our Spanish friends may end up providing us with those. How's that going, Master Winter? Any word from your contacts in Spain?
Well, they're keen.
Los contactos Spanishos.
They're keen, but what with the war in the Low Countries and the fact that they still haven't paid all the monthly instalments on the Armada, I think they're probably going to wait until James is actually dead before they get involved.
Oh, Dios mío.
Right. Well, that suggests there's even less to go around than we thought. Percy?
Yes, I wanted to talk to you about the powder, Fawkes.
What about the powder?
Will you ask for 36 barrels?
Yeah, 36 barrels, that's right.
Well, that seems an awful lot. I mean, that's enough powder to supply an army in the field for 2 months. Or 2 armies for 1 month. Or 4 armies.
I'm sorry. Oh, I forgot. I thought I was the blasting expert. I thought I was the one who spent 10 years in the Netherlands blowing up Protestants. But apparently, it's actually penny pinching little Uncle Bombs Percy here.
Sorry, I just...
No, I believe what Uncle Bombs is trying to say is that we are stretched for money already. Furthermore, if we use this much powder, there's no way we can obtain it without attracting attention to ourselves. So, must we absolutely have 36 barrels, Fawkes? Or is there some flexibility on the matter?
Well, we could get away with just 6.
6?
6 would do it, yeah. But I ask you this, what would be the point? Sure, we'd kill James, but I'm not convinced that's what we're after, is it?
I think it is.
Yeah, but that's not all. Gentlemen, I am a simple man.
Me too. I've got a doctor's note.
With simple beliefs and desires. You know me. I believe in honesty. I believe in truth. And above all, I believe in the persuasive power of gunpowder.
But what of all those Catholics that yet sit in Parliament? What of Lord Monteagle or Montague or Northumberland?
Their sacrifice is a necessary evil. We've all agreed.
Yes, but not those Catholics who passed by Westminster that day. Innocent men, rent apart by chance and no fault of their own.
I would not ask this of you unless I had a damn good reason. We need to send a message. We need the people to see the strength of our defiance. We don't just want to kill the king and his lords. We want to see Westminster reduced to rubble in the mightiest explosion the world's ever known.
Yes! Fawkes, get down from there.
No, we want to become the men that history could not ignore.
You'll get us thrown out.
The stout John Wright, a paragon of strength and virtue.
I'll drink to that.
Percy, who willingly sacrificed all he had for our righteous cause.
I have.
Catesby, the inspiring leader who led the glorious march.
You're too kind.
Fawkes, for pity's sake.
And Winter, our mascot.
He's got you there. Okay, keep your voice down.
Gentlemen, I shall raise my voice as loud as I wish. I shall raise the roof. For I know that with a glad heart I do God's work. It is not enough that King James should die. The world must know how much we meant it. Yes. I tell you all now, we've only one chance at this. So what do you say, Catesby?
36 it is. Let's give them an explosion they shall say all the way in Rome.
These are happy times. We believe in our cause and know that together we can achieve anything. I feel lifted, more so than I ever did fighting amongst my Spanish brothers in the Netherlands. Sure, I was a hero to them. They used to call me Guido el Ritardo. And that means brave horse. But I never really fitted in. Here, however, amongst these bold, defiant revolutionaries, I feel important. I feel that in the back room of the Duck and Drake, we are writing history. But I am wrong about me comrades. Wrong to trust them. Wrong to think things would not change. As time ticks by, our numbers grow and swell with ever more friends of friends, in-laws, brothers, and that bloke Steve, you know Steve, we met him at Julie's baby shower, the fat one with the eye. At first, the new recruits are welcome, but we are becoming too many. Each barrel stowed in our cellar beneath Westminster brings with it a new face. Another stranger to the party. A stranger who hasn't brought any booze, but has come in sexually inappropriate fancy dress. It is months later, the beginning of November, and we have long since relocated to a townhouse near Westminster which bustles with the increasingly stale business of revolution. The faces are all around me now, staring, jabbering incoherently into the darkness. It is November. And our fire rages out of control.
Guy, wait!
The whole thing's rotten. Rotten to the core.
You think I don't know that? Slow down!
I need to speak to you, John. In here.
Guy, can I ask, what are we doing in the cupboard?
We need to talk in private. If anybody comes, tell them you're looking for a dustpan and brush.
But it's right here.
Well, hide it then so you can look for it. Listen, somebody squealed. And we are hours away from the whole stinking plot going to hell.
That's why we should go back upstairs and talk it through with the others.
All we've been doing since we heard the news is bloody talking. We need to do something. Not fanny around with that pack of yapping poodles up there. And we can spend our entire lives bickering diplomatically about who's the least to blame. God, it was getting so passive-aggressive up there, I thought I'd stumbled into a convention for people whose birthdays have been forgotten.
It is a little fraught.
You're the only one I can trust now, John. Any one of those freaks could have let the cat out the bag. Do you know how difficult it is to put a cat back in a bag once it's tasted freedom?
Yeah, it's very difficult.
Yeah, it's completely impossible.
Yeah. You're all right.
Well, the cat's out now. The Lords know that to attend Parliament tomorrow would mean death. So who told them?
I don't know, and neither do you. We can't go around pointing the finger, Guy.
God gave me fingers so I might point them. Somebody sent a letter to Lord Monteagle. Was it you? Because it sure as hell wasn't me.
No, of course it wasn't me. Are you out of your mind? Look, all we can do now is talk to the others and decide what needs to be done.
We know what needs to be done. Whoever grassed us up needs to chew a sword sandwich and the rest of us have to carry out the plan.
Just calm down, all right? That vein in your temple's so big it looks like a pink slug is having a seizure on the side of your face.
Yeah, well, don't you worry about my face. I'll worry about my face. You need to focus. It's up to us now. I'm not wasting any more time speaking to those panicking half-wits upstairs. They're not warriors like you and I, John. They'll be all, ooh, let's think about things and talk about our feelings. Shut up. We've got a job to do, so let's do it.
All right. Now, Catesby and Percy are away in the Midlands preparing for the revolt. So that just leaves you, me, and Winter.
No, we can't trust Winter either. Just you and me, John. Like the good old days, back at school.
I wasn't friends with you at school. You were weird.
Well, I was friends with you.
Winter's been with us from the start.
No. Too many cooks spoil the broth.
What is it?
Oh, it's been staring me in the face all along.
What, the broth?
No, Winter. He used to work for Lord Monteagle, didn't he?
Yeah, but... Oh, you can't mean that Winter sent the letter.
Well, you said it, not me.
Yeah, I only said it because you were insinuating it.
Oh, come on, John. Open your eyes. He's been against us from the start. We all know that Catholics will have to be sacrificed in the explosion, but he's never come to terms with it. Never understood that for the glory of God, we have to kill all our most influential supporters. No matter how many times I explained the parable of the omelette and the eggs, he still wouldn't listen.
He accepted that. Reluctantly, but he accepted it.
Did he? Did he really? Then how come he's dropped us all in it now?
We don't know that for sure.
Of course we do. He's probably been a Protestant all along. Isn't Winter an anagram of traitor?
It's an anagram of treadwee.
He's betrayed us, John. I'll kill him.
We should think about this. I want to find the traitor too, but you're being mental.
Oh. Et you too, eh, John? I thought you were a soldier, not a 9-year-old girl dressed as a man pretending to be a soldier.
Look, Winter's been in this from the start. He's risked everything, same as you. And me, for that matter. Why would he throw it all away now?
I know in my heart I'm right. And if you were thinking straight, then you would too.
Thinking straight? Where's your proof?
Proof be damned, John. That weasel Winter is guilty, and you know it as well as I do. He's probably planning to flee the country. We must find him and kill him first. Now, quick to the docks.
Guy, this is madness. Just wait a minute. There's no point in going off half-cocked.
I'm fully cocked. I've never been more cocked.
Hello? Is there anyone there?
Winter.
Come on.
Ah, gentlemen, I'm sorry I'm late. They had to shut down Fenchurch Street due to Black Death. What were you doing in the broom cupboard?
Looking for
dustpan and brush. We found both of them.
So I see. Is everything all right? You both look like you've seen a ghost.
We are exposed.
Oh, sorry about that. It's these breeches.
No, we are exposed.
What?
Somebody delivered an anonymous letter to Lord Monteagle, warning him not to attend the state opening of Parliament. Who knows who he's alerted? Perhaps the king himself.
My God, who wrote this letter?
We don't know.
And do they know our intentions?
Not entirely. It says, you shall receive a terrible blow at this Parliament, but you shall not see who hurts you.
Perhaps Monteagle kept it to himself.
Yeah, I don't suppose anyone's heard about the private letter sent to him only last night about... Oh, no, hang on. We've heard about it. Half of bleeding London will know, won't they?
What will we do?
Word has been sent to Catesby at Dunchurch, but as yet we've not heard from him. The others are upstairs debating.
Oh, debating? Weeping and nervously farting, more like.
Perhaps we should call off the attack.
What?
We would have wasted these last months, true, but I, for one, would prefer a successful revolution 18 months hence than failure tomorrow.
Is that right?
We must leave these shores and regroup. There's still a chance of the Spanish crown backing our cause.
You wanted proof, John? Well, here it is. Took all of a minute for this little bird to change his tune. Tweet, tweet, let's run away, tweet.
What?
Guy, don't.
Fawkes, what are you suggesting?
Don't play Princess Idiot with me, Winter. You used to work for Monteagle, didn't you? Are you suggesting that you've no interest in giving your former employer the heads up? You've always been bleating on about saving the Catholics in Parliament, and now you've betrayed us all.
No.
Everything we've worked for, everything we believe in, and for what? To save Lord Monteagle and those other pompous pigs trapping it in the House of Lords?
Guy, no!
Stay back!
I'll not sit idly by and let you destroy this for us, just because you lack the heart to see it through.
Drop your sword, Fawkes, or I shan't be held responsible.
Just try me, Anti-Judas.
Listen, I admit I had my doubts, but I would never do anything without consulting the group. Certainly not something as ill thought through as this.
Prove it.
How?
Trial by stabbing.
John, do something.
Guy, put it down.
You think you've stopped me? You think a little worm like you could ever stop me? No matter what you throw in my way, I'll see this through. The gunpowder will be lit if I have to fight the armies of King James single-handed. You've changed nout.
You're insane. You'd get us all killed. You wouldn't want that. You'd be dead.
As long as you're dead first.
Guy, that's enough.
Let go. Get off me.
Get out of here, Winter. Run.
I was wrong, John. I can't even trust you.
He could be right, Guy. The way you're going, you'll doom us all.
You're going to stop me. You're going to put a blade in me back, on me calf, on me buttock, on me kidneys.
No, I would never.
Then I will do what I was born to do and light a fire under the arse of that sin-monger King James. Tomorrow morning, our monarch and every Protestant crony he's got will be sitting pretty above our little cellar, and we will have one shot at turning the old filthy lot of them into 12 tons of man salsa. Now, you may be unwilling to take that chance, but it's not your job to strike that flint box, is it? It's mine.
Guy, there's no shame in living to fight another day.
Oh, do you remember Margaret Clitheroe, John? A poor sweet girl whose only crime was to give aid and succour to a group of persecuted Catholics.
Yes, I remember, but...
Yeah, were you there, eh? When they broke her bones and snapped her back? Did you stand and watch?
No.
Well, I did. I watched as they stripped her naked in front of the baying crowd and began to pelt her with stones and mud and spit. I watched as they pushed her splintered door hard down upon her. And as they started to pile rocks onto it, huge chunks of sandstone, I watched as she bore it all without a word. And she took it, John, with grace. It spoke louder to that crowd than any scream or protest ever could. It was so quiet, you could hear the crack from across the street. If I can be half as noble when I die, then perhaps none of this will have been in vain.
Guy.
I'm willing to die for what I believe in, John.
There's a difference between being willing to die and wanting to.
You shan't stop me.
All right. Then I won't waste your time.
Where are you going?
I'm away to Dunchurch to meet Catesby. We'll lead the revolt from there once the deed is done. London won't be safe for you, of course. Perhaps I'll see you in Spain, Guy. We can share a plate of their disgusting food when all this is over.
You don't believe that, though, do you, John?
Yeah, tapas. Just stick it in a pie like everyone else.
No, I mean... Goodbye, John.
Goodbye. Do you want this broom, then?
Just put it in the cupboard. A memory. I am standing on an endless plain that stretches out for miles in every direction. Flat earth pulled tight around the horizon. But I'm not alone. It's 2 years ago, and the Dutch forces haze into Fawkes as they advance. The siege has lasted 2 months, and my shoulders ache from the hunching and the shovelling and the shifting of dirt. I've ruined my shoes. I rush down the tunnel I've been slaving over these last few weeks and pray that they hold their course. Within minutes, they will march directly over my head. Each arm presses a barrel splinter tight to my flanks. I charge on like some industrious squirrel hiding his explosive nuts. Thump, thump, thump. Above, here, I lay the fuse, and for stretched seconds, I strike at the tinderbox. Until it lights, as yellow as I've ever seen. I don't see the splay of the enemy as they fly into the air, nor the devastation that followed. I only hear the crack of the gunpowder and the cheers of my comrades. I am promoted within days. With rank comes respect, a new hat, and priceless not having to sleep in the open air privileges. But I would gladly return them all. The only thing that matters to me is that feeling, victory. But there was no victory this time. It was just after midnight when it happened. An undignified scuffle in a vast, unconscious city. England had fallen asleep. The lights had all gone out. But in the cellar, beneath the Palace of Westminster, they were waiting for me. Waiting to clap the irons upon me and drag me away to the tower.
Fawkes. Wake up, Fawkes. Oh, God, you'd better not be dead.
Oh, Sir William Wade. Huh. The Tower of London's very own Rapunzel of Death.
The same. Please, call me Sir William. We know each other too well for you to use my full title.
Well, come in. Make yourself at home. I'm afraid I can't offer you anything.
Thank God you're still with us. Can't have our star attraction snuffing it before he's even on the gallows now, can we?
I suppose this means I'm still alive, and heaven isn't eternity spent in your charming company.
I'm happy to say you're still a guest of His Majesty, although I fear your stay is coming to an end. How are we feeling, Fawkes?
Wonderful. A new man. That rack of yours has been doing me the power of good.
What?
The stretching rack.
Oh, yes. You're certainly looking a lot taller than when you arrived here. Do you know what day it is?
How would I know? I never see the sun rise or set. Seeing as I get sawdust porridge for breakfast, lunch and dinner, it's quite hard to tell which one's which.
I've been watching your skin pull itself around those filthy Catholic bones and that rubbish little beard grow increasingly unkempt for nigh on 3 months now. It's been fun, but all good things must come to an end. You see, tomorrow is the 31st of January. You do remember what that is, don't you?
Is it your birthday?
It's the day of your execution. So how's about we don't waste any more of our precious time together?
It'll take more to break me than a few hours a day on the rack. Or having me fingernails plucked out. Or my cell filled with angry, angry owls.
No, indeed. But I have so many other delights in store for you, my dear Fawkes. We shall see how unbreakable you are at the end of them.
You can taunt me all you like, Wade.
Oh, thanks very much. Awfully sporting of you. Do you know what I've just been doing?
Eating babies.
Yes. As it were. I've been executing a number of your very guilty little friends. None of the real crowd pleasers, of course, but we like to work our way up to the main event. Have a little bit of a warm-up. It's like the Lizard Strangler before the new Shakespeare play. That said, it was top-notch entertainment, I can tell you. Oh, the weeping and the wailing. They sounded like newborn birds crying out for Mummy Bird to jam a worm in their mouths.
Is that supposed to frighten me? You're pathetic.
They couldn't stop whinging and confessing. I did it. I'm so sorry.
Sorry?
Oh, yes. They apologised for the full gamut of their crimes. Treason, conspiracy to commit treason, loitering with intent to start a conspiracy to commit treason. They couldn't stop apologising.
Well, I'm not so easily scared. I've signed your bloody bit of paper. You get no more out of me than that.
Yes, I have your confession, which is, of course, lovely, but I want a little bit more than that. I want you to realize the diabolical and unnatural nature of your mission by the time you climb those little wooden steps.
I'll do no such thing. Them others may have bottled it, but I won't. You get nothing from me.
Oh, you poor deluded fool. Do you have any idea what's going to happen to you tomorrow?
I can imagine.
Oh, I very much doubt it. We've had many years' practice crafting and honing the vile and squalid death we've got lined up for you. Firstly, we hang you for a bit. Not too long, though. We don't want to damage your neck. Then we damage your neck.
Is that it?
Oh, no. We've dreamt up some special horrors just for you. Tell me, have you ever played Blind Man's Bluff?
I think so.
Well, it's like that. Only instead of the normal rules of Blind Man's Bluff, we remove your arms. Then we remove your clothes. And then we blind you. And then we put your clothes back on. Only we do your buttons up wrong. And you won't be able to do anything about it because you'll have no arms or eyes. Then, when you're at your lowest ebb, we get local war veterans and school children to fill you with stuff.
What?
We thought it might be cruelly appropriate to have you filled with Fawkes.
Right.
But then, we thought it would be much funnier to fill you with guys.
Oh, God, no.
I don't want to tell you too much about the grand finale, but let's just say you won't ever look at honeyed cashew nuts the same way again.
You're forgetting, Wade. I'm a soldier. I've had worse things done to me on a quiet night out. I shall stand on the gallows tomorrow and take whatever colourful punishment you choose to inflict. My bravery will be a beacon to the right-thinking men who come after me.
Bravery? Oh, my dear Master Fawkes, it's hard not to be impressed by your bravado, but somehow, however, I manage it. I've seen scores of men pass through here, all fire and brimstone. I fear nothing, God shall protect me, etc., etc. But they all end up the same way, crying like girls with their breeches full of piss.
Well, I do fear nothing, and God will protect me, so there. History shall remember me as a hero, a martyr.
Ah, so eager to reach the kingdom of heaven. Are you quite sure that's where you're heading?
I've always been true to what my heart tells me, and God rewards such devotion. We were doing his work,
yes.
And he will finish that work.
And how will God get big bad King James, A heart attack? Some contagion? Perhaps he might send the king's horse mad, so that before anyone can stop it, it has held a pillow over the royal face while he sleeps.
How dare you presume to know God's mind?
These are the machinations of men, Fawkes. This has nothing to do with God. Not anymore.
Your kind have abandoned God. And for what? So fat King Henry the Bleeding Eighth could swap shop his missus. Now, before this Protestant heresy, England was a different place, a new Eden. Pints were bigger. Children were turgid and biddable. And the horses ran on time. Believe me, you'll pay for what you've done. And not in this life. The next, where your kind will fuel the fires of hell for thousands of years.
Yes, yes. And a series of ironic punishments will make me reevaluate my life all too late. You know, it's funny, but I slightly envy you. This burning certainty in the rightness of your cause, the ability to gloss over your vile crimes, so very convenient.
Our crimes are nothing compared
Are
to...
nothing? Are you wholly ignorant of the litany of vicious actions of your precious Catholic forefathers? Tell me, do you know of a Christopher Wade? No? He wasn't a great martyr, no hue or cry over cousin Christopher. He ended his days surrounded by a gaggle of your Romish brethren as they burnt him at the stake, simply for his adherence to a church where one does not have to pay to commune with God. The flames rose up his blackened arms until his fingers could swell no more with the heat. They burst like sausages, one by one, and released a dark ooze that sizzled and popped in the blaze, and your Christian brethren cheered. Not as if witnessing a humble weaver being incinerated, but as if they'd seen a pet do the funniest thing. Now, tomorrow, I shall not be so vulgar as to cheer, but I shall be glad. Not for the condemnation of a Catholic, but for the virtuous and lawful end of a traitor.
Enjoy your little victory while it lasts. You can kill me, cut my flesh and break my bones.
Ooh, break your bones, yes, that's right. Idea.
But you can never kill our hope. Catesby's out there somewhere, marshalling our forces, readying the hammer blow that will knock your master's false crown from his daft head. He might even rescue me from the gallows. Oh, yeah, I can see it now. A flaming arrow flying into a barrel of gunpowder strategically placed to make me look all sexy. And your stupid face overseeing the whole thing from a balcony, and you'll shout, "Guards, kill them!" But they won't kill them, and me and Catesby will ride off to party while you get humorously entangled in a tapestry.
Catesby? Oh, did I not tell you? Catesby's dead.
What?
Died in a shootout at a Holbeach house in Staffordshire, resisting arrest.
I don't believe you.
Yes, Catesby, Percy, and your old school chum, John Wright, all as dead as doornails. The Sheriff of Worcester found them, a man after my own heart. He hunted them down like rats. Well, put down poison, but they didn't eat any of it, so he had to shoot them with guns. Catesby was found with a bullet in his back, hiding in the downstairs lavatory. So you see, your revolution is as over as the 16th century.
When?
Years ago. It's 1605 now.
No. When did they die?
Oh, months back. Must have slipped my mind. Or perhaps I was being a bastard. Yes. Catesby's head was carried down to London and displayed on a spike outside the House of Commons. We put a silly hat on him. It was jolly funny.
You murderer. Catesby was a great man. A visionary.
Well, he kind of thought his vision through very well. Look where it's gotten you. Arguably, you've put the cause of Catholics back 50 years or so. Now, thanks to your abortive little stunt, every patriotic man, woman, and child in the land is worried about Catholics under the bed. I mean, really? 36 barrels of powder? We could hardly miss them. You'd have blown up half of London. What was Catesby thinking?
You'd never have known about them if it hadn't been for that filthy weasel Winter.
Winter? Oh, do you mean the letter to Monteagle? Well, that wasn't Winter. You thought it was Winter? Oh, that is too good. No. Oh, no. I'm afraid he was quite innocent. Well, guilty as sin, of course, which is why he went to the gallows this morning. Tick. But he had nothing to do with the letter. That was Tresham.
Specie Treshy?
Yes, Francis Tresham. He did us quite the favour, bless him. So we let him off lightly and only hanged and quartered him. Spared him the drawing.
Tresham.
But really, even without the letter, we'd have nabbed you. I mean, 36 barrels hidden in an enormous wood pile directly beneath the king. Did you really think we wouldn't find them? We look under the king every day. The pile was far too large not to draw attention. I mean, it was enormous, ludicrous. Only a fool would have
all right.
I mean, it hardly required me to put on my detective ruff to see that we were looking at a golden opportunity to get a load of top-level Catholic troublemakers into the bag. Thanks for that. I don't suppose you could have done a better job if you were in the king's pay. Oh, you weren't, were you?
Of course not, you monster. But you will pay dearly for this, you serpent. You Protestant hangdog.
Will I? Really? I rather doubt it.
You filth. You devil.
Oh, am I upsetting you, Fawkes? I'd be loath to fall out now we've become such firm friends.
You heretic!
You really are brimming over with hatred, aren't you? I don't know how you could possibly hear God's will with all that racket going on in your head.
I have always done what I know in my heart to be right. I have always lived by my principles, uncompromisingly, unflinchingly. I am an honest man, a truthful man, a good man. I am a servant of the Lord.
Well, perhaps you're right, Fawkes. Perhaps you are the better Christian. After all, I have sinned so wickedly. Tell me, can you forgive me?
You are?
Can you forgive me? I've done all sorts of terrible, unspeakable things to your brethren on behalf of my king and previously, God rest her, my queen. What must my soul look like? Perhaps a dark red wine after a cat's drowned in it. I see now that you're an honest and true man, and I beg your forgiveness.
Forgive you?
Yes, me. It was I that ordered Catesby's head be removed and brought here. I that had it impaled upon a spike outside Parliament. I even picked out the silly hat myself. I wanted him not only dead, but humiliated, and that wasn't very Christian of me. So I'm apologising. So, forgive me, Fawkes, for I have sinned.
Give over.
If you can find it in your heart to forgive me, doesn't that prove you the more righteous? Of course, I know it must be hard, but I'll give you some incentive. I'll let you go.
This is a trick.
I'm deadly serious, Master Fawkes. You can walk free. Well, I'll leave the door open and call all of the guards into the staff room for an emergency torture seminar. All you have to do is look me in the eye and forgive me. As long as I believe you, you're a free man.
You.
Go on. Look deep into my eyes and forgive me.
This is just...
Forgive me. Show me how saintly you can be. Oh, dear. You can't do it, can you? You simply cannot bring yourself to be the better man. Well, have it your way. I presume we'll be subjected to no end of exhortation and vituperation from you on the gallows tomorrow. It'll be King James this and defiling the throne that and blah, blah, heresy, blah. How very tedious. I do hope you'll prove me wrong, Fawkes. Retain a teensy-weensy shred of dignity.
I shall hold my head up high.
Good. The tomato thrower is like a clear target. Goodbye, Fawkes. I trust you'll sleep terribly.
How can you be so cold when you burn with the same hatred that's within me?
I think it's something to do with maturity. It grants a certain perspective. You know, when all's said and done, you may well have given great service to this country. Not in the way you were hoping, of course. But perhaps this is the very thing to rally the country behind one faith. The end of these petty parochial squabbles and a chance to unite all Englishmen for a peaceful future on these fair shores. Perhaps.
So here I am, atop the freshly constructed gallows of Westminster, overlooking a sea of anticipant faces, a noose pulled tight about my neck. And up here, at the end of things, I cannot but think of Margaret Clitheroe, and how silent and resolute she'd been. And now that was not me. I see her alongside me now, and I cannot hold back the tears. I remember a beach littered with smooth, wet rocks with high grey cliffs all around. I'm there with my sisters, Lizzie and Anne, chatting away as we look for starfish amongst the rock pools. There's one, look. Should we keep it? No, you're a starfish and you're fat and you smell. I'm hungry. Good times. Lizzie and I start hopping from rock to rock, getting faster and faster. Anne shouts for us to slow down, but we don't. We leave her behind, clutching the crab we'd found that looks like an old man who just sat down on a wet bench. We don't look back. Soon, we've run so far that Mum is out of sight. Up ahead is a large stone outcrop towering over the sea, with waves crashing at its base. I bet my sister a penny that I can climb it. She says she doesn't have a penny. I say, I'm not afraid, and begin scrabbling up the glistening stone as fast as I can. Head down, hand over hand, all the way to the top, where I scramble to my feet, stretch to my full height, and shout down to Lizzie, "See? It's easy!" And I jut out my chin to look even more courageous. From here, the sea looks dark and powerful. And as I stare out at the horizon, I lose all sight of the rocks I'm standing on, or the beach, or my sister below. It's like hovering in space. I suddenly feel dizzy, as if this great expanse is rushing towards me, faster than I can bear, and I lose my footing on the cold, slippery rocks. For a moment, I know I'm going to fall. I'm terrified and flail even more, trying to regain my balance. But it's no use. I'm going over. But then I think of my sister staring up at her foolish elder brother, and I kick off from the rocks towards the black, unwelcoming sea. I don't fall. I jump. And as I plunge into the water, the shock is so sharp that I cannot in the moment tell if I am travelling through ice or through fire.
That was The Penny Dreadful's present Guy Fawkes from November 5, 2009 on BBC Radio 4. Well, that is it for this week on the Airchecks podcast. Stay tuned next week for episode 55. Airchecks podcast is uploaded every Saturday and could be heard on the KTY Radio Network every Sunday at noon Pacific Time on ktyradio.com or by listening on your favorite app. Just search for K-TY Radio Network and you will find it. I highly recommend searching on the radio.net website or download their app. Or you can listen to the Airchecks podcast anywhere you downloaded this podcast, including Spotify, Spreaker, the iHeartRadio app, Podcast Addict and, of course, Apple Podcasts. This is the Airchecks podcast. See you at the same time and same channel.
This is the Voice of America's worldwide coverage of the flight of Apollo 17, man's sixth and final moon landing in the Apollo program. The 13-day mission to the Taurus littoral region of the moon and back will be carried out by astronauts Eugene Cernan, mission commander, Ronald Evans, command module pilot, and Harrison Jack Smith, lunar module pilot. Liftoff, the first night launch in the Apollo series, is scheduled for 2 hours 53 GMT. For a description of the Apollo 17 blast-off, we take you to Cape Kennedy and VOA space correspondent Rex Turner.
Now 21 minutes, 58 seconds. We're watching a giant countdown clock here in the night of Cape Kennedy. The only night launch of all of the Apollo series, and that spectacular rocket standing on its pad, bathed in brilliant night light, is an unusually spectacular sight indeed. That's the word of the hour, because it's just unbelievable, the majesty of this world's greatest rocket standing there on pad 19, ready to lift into the sky. 3 precious astronauts, 3 lives, on the way to the moon for America's last lunar exploration in the foreseeable future. There'll be at least 10 years, maybe 15 or 20, before the United States goes back to the moon, possibly to continue the exploration of that planet and learning how our own came to be since creation. 10 minutes, 29 seconds until liftoff. Let's go to launch control in Chuck Hollingshead, which might be carrying on conversations which they don't need at that time. Countdown proceeding smoothly. T-minus 10 minutes, 15 seconds and counting. This is Kennedy Launch Control. Let me report to you what he was giving us there. He said there are a number of system checks and communications checks going on throughout the manned spaceflight network. After the rocket lifts off from here, it will be tracked from here at Cape Kennedy by a big dish for a time. Then it goes out over the ocean. And I believe Canary Islands is still involved during the orbital part of the tracking mode when the spacecraft is orbiting the Earth. Once it goes toward the moon, those 3 big 85-foot dishes at Goldstone, California, Madrid, Spain, and Honeysuckle Creek, Australia will be on board for tracking this Apollo flight as all the others. And all of that network around the world, communications and tracking network, is going through a last-minute check. Now, all of the systems on board the rocket are hardwired right now, meaning they're connected by wiring right back into the launch control just to our left, about 100 meters from us. And that's where we are, out in the outdoors on top of a small sand mound, which is called the press site. There's some 1,000 or more members of the press from all over the world here. The American television networks are transmitting. The EBU EBU, European Broadcast Union, is transmitting to all Western Europe. We understand that that signal is available into the East European countries also. Japan usually picks up this via television to the west, the United States and the Far East. And there are many television cameras and many eyes, as well as ears, around the world glued to this spot. They named the command module America and the lunar module Challenger, in case you haven't heard that. The whole great Saturn V rocket complex stretches over 100 meters tall out there, 5 kilometers from us, right before us on the sands of Cape Kennedy. The sky is clearing, believe it or not. We can see a number of stars directly overhead, so that bodes well. If that can hold for another 6 minutes, we're going to be able to see this launch for up through staging of the first stage at the very least. And since it'll be a night launch, we possibly can see if the second stage burn out for maybe 10 or 11 minutes. I think the horizon would be our only real limitation in seeing this tonight, because looking out to the east, we can also see stars to the east. So the gods are with us. The astronauts on the Astrocom circuit now, reporting and thanking the launch team for all their prayers and all their help. The searchlights are shining on one puff of cloud, which has drifted over to the north, out of just one little puff of cloud there. Good luck and Godspeed, reports the launch operations manager over the Astrocom circuit. T-minus 3 minutes 40 seconds. The countdown continuing to go along smoothly. On the terminal countdown sequencer, the count will be automatic from there on out. The countdown sequencer will initiate the various functions from that time on. Automatic control. And here in the firing room, we'll be monitoring their consoles, watching temperatures, pressures, various things. They could override that terminal sequencer if necessary. Moving up now to the time terminal sequencer, T-minus 3 minutes, 10 seconds, and counting. Spacecraft ready light has come on, indicating that the spacecraft is ready. We are now on the terminal sequencer. Launch sequence has started. That means it's all automatic for launch. That water on the pad will begin at the 1 minute mark, blowing on the flame deflector below the launch vehicle, on the launch pedestal itself, and along the swing arms, which will be coming back at liftoff. Instrument unit ready light has come on. Emergency detection system ready light is on. All indications are we are go for launch as we approach the 2 minute, 30-second mark. Several of the swing arms are still there. Various propellant tanks now aboard the space vehicle is starting. F2 or second stage liquid oxygen tanks now pressurized. These propellant tanks are pressurized with helium to ensure that during the flight the fuel flows properly down through the engines. It's quiet here in the firing room now as the men are monitoring their consoles, looking at the temperatures, checking pressures, and a variety of parameters to ensure everything is in a go condition. It looks very quiet. Pressurization continuing on the fuel tanks. At this time, we'll go to the critical power transfer at the T-minus 50-second mark in the countdown. At that time, we'll transport our external power source to the flight batteries aboard the space vehicle. Minute and a half to go. Minute and 35 seconds. By the crew aboard the spacecraft America will be a final guidance alignment. Is conducted by the spacecraft commander, Gene Cernan. That's the navigation. Apollo 17 will be able to be seen, depending on weather conditions, some 500 miles away as it goes into Earth orbit. Pressurization continuing. Liquid hydrogen tanks now aboard the second stage have been pressurized. Propellants aboard the second stage now pressurized. 1 minute. We cover aboard the cue-ball. This is the cue-ball system on top of the launch escape system. Will be pulled off just shortly before launch. We'll see flames 10 seconds before they're pressurized. Now past the 1 minute mark, and we are going on internal power. Now all systems to internal power. We'll be looking for the engine start sequence at the 8.9 second mark in the countdown. The engines will build up to a thrust of 7.6 million pounds. T-minus 30 seconds. We have a cutoff. We have a cutoff at T-minus 30 seconds. Cutoff. Something in the automatic sequence has stopped the launch.
We'll bring word to you just as soon as we get it. We have a cutoff at T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds and holding. This is Kennedy launch control.
There it is. There's a cutoff at 30 seconds. Something in the automatic sequencer caused the countdown to stop. That means that we're at 30 seconds and holding while the flight control analyzes the problem. Now, as to what did occur, the automatic sequencer, the automatic control, was in operation. The automatic sequencer was supposed to pressurize all of the large fuel tanks fully just a few seconds before launch. The third stage, Fawkes tank, that's the liquid oxygen tank in the third stage, the S-4B stage of the Saturn V rocket, was not pressurizing fast enough, according to the way the automatic sequencer was feeding information to it. So the flight controllers saw the pressurization going slowly. They switched on a manual pressurization to make sure the pressure built up properly. It did so, but it didn't do this fast enough to satisfy the automatic monitoring system. So the automatic monitoring system, the terminal sequencer monitoring mechanism, shut down the whole count at T-minus 30 seconds. Now, they've completely analyzed it, and they're going back and re-gearing for the count again. This has to be done. The count has to be backed up in order to go through all of this minute, meticulous monitoring again to make sure nothing goes wrong. And again, arming those pyrotechnic devices, which are very much a part of the mechanism.
Mission Director Chet Lee just verified that we are go for launch. Mark, T-minus 45, engine turn, made that final guidance alignment. That's the last action taken by the crew aboard the space vehicle. Now approaching the half-minute mark.
Here we come.
33, half minute, T-minus 30 seconds, and continuing on now. Continuing on at T-minus 26-second mark, T-minus 25. We'll get a final guidance release at the T-minus 17-second mark. T-minus 17. Final guidance release. We expect engine ignition at 9 seconds.
10 seconds now.
9, 8, 7. Ignition sequence.
There's flame.
All engines are started.
The engines are burning.
2, 1, 0. We have a liftoff.
There it is. It's lifting off.
Lighting up the area. It's daylight here at Kennedy Space Center.
Beautiful.
It's moving off the pad. It is now
in the tower. Beginning to turn over to the east. Choosing to the east now. 18 minutes, that's shorter. About 7 kilometers up now. You can hear the astronauts talking to mission control. We can still see it in a beautiful, clear night sky. Going into the stratosphere now.
Maximum dynamic pressure at this point.
Maximum dynamic pressure, that means that the maximum amount of G-forces are pushing the astronauts back into the back of their seats now. Moving over 3,000 feet per second. 1 minute, 40 seconds after liftoff. There's some 13,000 meters up, moving some 505 meters per second now. Moving out over toward the east.
One Charlie. And the flight dynamics officer says we look good on all sources, right on the...
We're going to be able to see this one farther than we've ever seen a launch before, because it's night and because the sky is clear.
Taking us over for staging, we say we look good for staging.
Staging comes at 2 minutes, 43 seconds. About another 20 seconds from now. Center engine cut off. Inboard engine shutting down on time as planned. We can still see it. We've never been able to see one this far before. Maximum G-forces of about 4 Gs. Our eyes are still blinded from the brilliant flash. As we look up into the stratosphere, we almost have to look. There it seems. There was second stage ignition. Staging and second stage. It's going. We can see it clearly. First stage. 5. Roger, they're looking here. Look good. You felt like it. It looks like a star in the sky now. Right. Moving off out over the Atlantic. And so we brought you the launch of Apollo 17 worldwide on the Voice of America. My thanks to Don Beatty of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration for being with me on this interesting evening. And I must again say thanks to Bob O'Ringle and Lyle Lincoln, our engineers, for a good job, to Ed Hickey, and also to Willie Gutierrez. This is Rick Turner at Cape Kennedy, returning you to Washington.
We come to the close of the first live broadcast in our VOA coverage of the flight of Apollo 17, man's sixth and final moon landing mission in the Apollo series. The spacecraft and its crew, in a delayed, spectacular nighttime launch, the first in the Apollo series, lifted from Launch Pad 39A at Cape Kennedy at 5 hours 33 GMT, some 2 hours 40 minutes late. It is now in an Earth-parting orbit some 26 minutes into the mission. This is Norman Guerin in the Apollo News Center in Washington. This program has come to you from the United States of America.
This is the Voice of America station at the Philippines, bringing to a close this portion of today's broadcast. You are invited to listen throughout the week to the English language transmissions of the Voice of America for late world news, analyses of major developments, music, and a variety of feature programs. For specific information concerning the time and frequencies of these Voice of America English language programs, write to Program Schedules, Voice of America, Washington, D.C., USA. Or write to the United States Information Service Office, nearest you. Now, this is the Voice of America station at the Philippines, concluding this portion of today's broadcast.